What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat. What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia.
What's up, guys? It's Wolverine, Death Machine, Mr. GMSI himself, Brian Cage, and you're watching True Heel Heat. Who better? Nobody. This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero, and if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
Welcome to True Heel Heat, the place where we use insider terms because we think we know what the fuck we're talking about, even though we don't. My name's Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching True Heel Heat podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Romeo's Twitter for our AEW Revolution 2025 review, breaking down last night's pay-per-view from Los Angeles, California. And I said it to Jimmy before we went live. I have never seen an all-timer pay-per-view end in this fashion. And we are here to discuss it, as always, your two favorite reviewers when it comes to All Elite Wrestling. I am joined by the one and only man of 58,000 subscribers. You go to him for your TV and movie reviews, as well as your honest criticisms of Tony Khan and All Elite Wrestling every single Thursday on AE Ramble. But here for our pay-per-view review, the one and only Jimmy Macram. How are you doing?
I'm good.
There you go.
Ladies and gents, I enjoyed the show, mostly. Really, really good show. Fantastic show. Well, we can't go fantastic anymore, but it was up to the point.
It's like a football player, a quarterback who gets like 400 yards, got 7 touchdowns, but then has an interception in the final 3 seconds of the game.
How would you throw that? There's nobody over there. Oh, God.
I said this was like the easiest layup ever, and he airballed it. Oh my God.
Shocking.
We are here to discuss AEW Revolution 2025. As always, we appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, the best thing you can do is to sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys. Hear your thoughts on last night's pay-per-view. If you want to make sure your comment is highlighted on screen, you want to share your thoughts and if you have a hot take, have an opinion on last night's show, and want to show your support to AE Ramble, to our AEW Revolution review and the channel, you can do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. We already got a few in the chat ready in the chamber for us today. We got Call Me Mr. Bonda, who says wrestling is real to me, damn it. Thank you so much. Call Me Mr. Bonda. I mean, hey, they're selling t-shirts with that if you want, Mr. Bonda, by the one and only Travis Scott.
Who was that girl that they interviewed during the show?
Oh my God. Oh, she's the actress from the Queen of the Ring. Yeah. Oh my God. It was like, how are you're supposed to know like what to say.
What do you mean? She said the truth. You stick a mic in her fucking face, what do you want? Poor dumb lady.
I know. I think I know what she meant. That she was like saying like, oh, the fans always win, but it was like, no. No, that's not how that came across. We also got another super chat donation here. Thank you so much to Negro Buck, Nick Jackson, Nicky Boy, who says John Moxley is a bald fraud.
Jesus. It's an interesting, I'll be nice. I'm not going to start any trouble early on. I'm going to be nice. I was going to say, it's a very interesting avatar you have there. I was fully expecting him to show up last night, obviously. These dummies. Good Lord.
Hey, they did axe.
I'm sure they did. I can't wait for Tony Khan to get this. Nigga's left his house 6 times in 10 years. He's not showing up to fucking Revolution. Knock it off. Knock it off.
He's already expended all those times to get out of his house for the pop-up and the Super Bowl. It's over. We also got a super chat donation from our good friend Chilling with Chase Oliver. Thank you so much, Chase, for being a part of our watch party last night. He was also joined me to talk about Daredevil Born Again on the True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment channel yesterday. Chase says Cope Hogan's magnum opus last night found a way to not eat the pin from a world champion and convince his best friend to do it.
Insanity. What the fuck? Oy. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And it's the first cash-in. It's the first one. Like that's like doing the John Cena thing on the first try for Money in the Bank.
So we blaming Edge for this?
Oh, I mean, I already know who I'm giving LVP to. I already know. Like, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for you. Do you want me to just get into it? Like, because I promised the people that I was gonna rant about this. Like, I have never in my life seen an all-time pay-per-view and the most obvious choices. You end off the show with 4 matches, 3 of which are obvious choices to close the show, and you just are completely tone deaf. Tony Khan pulled off something that I have not seen since post 1998 WCW, when they were still trekking out the fucking NWO way past its expiration date, way past 1997 Starrcade, and they're still dominating television. I have not seen this type of tone deaf booking and not having their finger on the pulse of the fans. Not only that, not just not having your finger on the pulse of the fans, it's like you have your finger up your own fucking ass. That's how bad this booking decision is, that you just completely are oblivious to the fact that the fans are not going to buy this. This is not the type of match to do with these two after what we just saw with the steel cage matchup, after what we just saw with the Hollywood ending. And it's not even like, oh man, it was a whole bunch of hardcore matches right before that. Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita had to follow the Hollywood ending. They did a slow burn where they got the fans to calm down. They were a little burned out after the Hollywood ending, and they built and they crescendoed at the right point. So they knew the type of matchup to have after that Hollywood ending, in between a steel cage match, an all-timer steel cage match. Yet you told Cope and Moxley to go out there and have a plotting ass main event. It was like I was watching fucking 50-year-old Hulk Hogan versus 40-year-old fucking Bill Goldberg. Like, I don't know what the fuck this dude was thinking. Yes, we're out of the 5-minute window. I could just start dropping F-bombs. This was like the most obvious choice. I said it. It's like this dude had the Nikola Jokic line of 30 points, 20 rebounds, 20 assists, yet he had a turnover and an air ball at the last 10 seconds of the fucking game. I do not understand what was going on in your head, Tony Khan. And I saw the quote from the freaking post-show presser where you was like, hindsight is always 20/20, but I thought that Swerve closing the show would be a good thing to end the crowd with. And yes, there is an argument from these old school fucking analysts and fans who are like, well, you want to close the show with what's going to be the next pay-per-view main event. Not that fucking match. There was no excuse. There was nothing. There was nothing in this matchup from the angles that they did. They did not go. We came up with 1,000 fucking options for them if they were going to close with this. You have a new member of the Death Riders that's debuting, because at least the debut will distract people from how bad this match has gone. No, didn't do that. They did the most obvious fucking shit ever. No one was on the edge of their seat when Wheeler Yuta come out. No one ever thought that Wheeler Yuta was going to give a knee to Jon Moxley. It was quite obvious he was going to come out. It was quite obvious he was going to hit Adam Copeland. And then with Switchblade Jay White, they chose the fucking worst possible option of him just coming out, fucking up, and then he's gone. That was it. No heel turn. No him trying to take the Christian contract and cash in himself. I saw some fans on social media before the show said that was an option and that would have been great, but no, we can't do that. Then Christian Cage looks like the biggest fucking idiot in the world because he comes in during the matchup. He hits Copeland with the contract. That's a disqualification because you idiots did not make Cope versus Mox, two guys who thrive on plunder matches, thrive on fucking brawls. No, they're trying to have a storytelling, technical wrestling match for 26 fucking minutes. 26 fucking minutes.
Oh.
I'm just blown away. Blown away. I told you before we went live, Jimmy. I'll tell everybody. I literally coming off of Ospreay and Fletcher. It was like 3:30 in the morning. That match left me with a shot of espresso. My boy Kelvin, shout out to Kelvin. He was like, "Oh, I just felt like I had 3 bumps of cocaine." Like that got your energy up. Like, oh man, all these guys have to do is just stick the landing. Just have a brawl for 10 minutes, and then you could do all the shenanigans. Because the fans, you're not gonna have the fans for that long. Considering that they just saw 3 back-to-back instant classics. You're not going to have them for long. So just go out there, throw bows, do the walking brawl through the crowd, come back, hit your superplex that got a mild pop, and then cut like 10 minutes of this fucking matchup and just get to the shenanigans as quick as fucking possible. And that would have been a decent enough matchup where you're like, okay, you didn't completely let down this match. 27 minutes. 27 fucking minutes. I said 26. It's like 26 and change. So it's 27 minutes. My God. Who was this for? Like someone's job needs to be lost. Someone needs to be on the unemployment line. The fact that Tony Khan has people that work in the creative team and no one said a word or no one forced him to be like, this Death Riders thing is not working. You do not want to have an epic conclusion to an 18-month storyline, a 28-minute Kenny Omega versus Konosuke to catch the match, a fucking epic steel cage matchup where dudes are doing Spanish flies off the top of the fucking steel cage, and the biggest thing that these 2 old fucks can do in the main event is a superplex that gets a mild fucking pop.
First of all, are you all right? I'll make sure you're all right first.
I had to let that out. Like, I've been holding that in for like 12 hours now.
I've heard quite a few of your suggestions. I've seen quite a few of you all try to fix this. I mean, and I appreciate you trying to find different ways to the same conclusion. But the conclusion has been reached already. This just shouldn't have been the main event. You have 2 singles world titles. Ironically, the other singles world title has been built up for 18 months and is the main event everybody wants to see. This isn't hindsight 2020. Everybody said beforehand, don't put that in the fucking main event. Do Mariah and Toni. Everybody said it. And you're like, nah, I'm good. I don't know what kind of stroke Moxley has. And listen, I've said it before. You owe Moxley a lot. A fucking bunch. We're good. We're done now. We've given you everything we could possibly give you. You're welcome. But no, we're done with Moxley's ideas. We should be, at the very least. I don't know what Edge has got on you. I don't know what Edge has done for you to let him get away with this shit. Good Lord. What kind of contract Edge got?
Cope has literally killed the whole concept of the Death Riders. The whole concept of the Death Riders are we have a whole bunch of young dudes who are complacent, come step up and beat me. It's all setting up for Darby, or hopefully they change the course and it's just Swerve, because my God, you cannot. And the fact that, you know what I stupidly did? I listened to Brian and Dave on Wrestling Observer. And fucking Brian Alvarez is sitting there trying to convince all his friends, Vinny and the other dudes. He's like, you know, they say Moxley has go away heat, but man, these people were so upset. And there's nothing that logically kind of points to that it's go away heat. It's kind of like the same thing with Jericho. They hated Jericho before, but he's still doing all right. No, you are not watching this product. You're literally watching fucking highlights if you think that this is legit money generating heat. This is not money generating heat. And yes, the numbers do say that people are going away because of this.
It is what it is.
It's a fucking albatross on AEW. Like the fact that there are so many good things, and even the stuff that I will nitpick on this show has good things in it. It has good things in it. It was inexcusable. This is one of the most unforgivable things that Tony Khan has done, and that says a lot. That says a lot.
Revolution is such a big show for them, and the fact that they hit a home run through 8 matches. This is what I would show somebody if I was trying to get them to be a fan of AEW. You got Omega and Takeshita, you got Mariah and Toni, you got Ospreay and Fletcher. It's all this stuff that you can't get anywhere else. And then it's Edge and Moxley, something you saw 10 years ago. 2 old men having an old match. I'm not interested in this. And I don't need all the flips and Spanish flies off the cage. I thought Omega and Takeshita was fucking fantastic. But, yeah. I don't know what I'm supposed to be watching here in the main event. It's not like these are gigantic stars. This isn't Hogan and Piper fucking 10 years past their prime. It's Edge and John Moxley, who've run off fucking 10% of the AEW audience already. Get it.
Is like Cope, who has basically been he had a good TNT run. That you should have realized that when he had a good TNT run, maybe that's his spot. Maybe that's his spot. Upper mid card. He's a star with a name, a legend with some credibility. He can build up the TNT title, build up some younger guys underneath. He doesn't even have to lose to him because he's Cope Hogan. But like, Jesus Christ, what were you thinking? You have literally bastardized what the Death Rider story was supposed to be with having Cope involved in this, and then you had it close after those 3 matches. Like this, like who thought this was a good idea? Who validated him when he said, you know what, Cope and Mox, that's going to be the main event? No one said, you know what, I'm going to say this nicely. I don't think that's the right decision. I think the crowd is not going to be that crowd was red hot for the steel cage match. They built up and they got into the final 15 minutes of Omega and Takeshita, and they were hot as hell during Toni and Mariah. For them to just sit there in silence. I've never watched a pay-per-view main event and shook my head because we all said this. We all saw this coming. Like, there is no hindsight is 2020. Nigga, just listen. My God. Like, how many fans said it this week? How many fans were pleading with him that tagged him on social media? That said this. How many times did we say this in the lead up?
What would your revised card look like? I think you've got to move Edge and Moxley to the middle of the card, because all the blood is about to happen afterwards.
Yeah, I would probably maybe either the simplest thing to do is flip Toni and Mariah for Cope and Mox.
But then they got to follow fucking your boy.
No, they don't. You flip if Toni Mariah goes before Konosuke, before Takeshita and Omega, and before Ospreay and Fletcher.
Yeah, but if you
just flip.
In the main
no,
event.
If you flip them, that means Cope gets the Toni and Mariah. Cope and Mox get the Toni and Mariah spot. Toni and Mariah get the main event. I think that the crowd would still be into Toni and Mariah just off of how they started off brawling and everything. Then they do the big Baldo bomb spot through the table, and it's only 12 minutes. Like it's like 12, 13 minutes. It's a perfect amount of time for a main event to feel like a conclusion. And the crowd, mind you. This is the thing. Like, people want to say, oh, the crowd was burnt out because of steel cage match. They were not burned out when they're singing fucking Cope's song. That was the most they were into the main event. So they would have been into a match that starts off with some vibes, with some intensity, and that's Toni and Mariah.
Definitely should have main evented. I can't have it fall Ospreay though. I can't do it. The match was preposterous. We'll get into it. In a mostly good way. For you guys. I'm not comparing it to the main event. I'm just saying it was preposterous.
If you want to make a further edit, you just flip Omega and Takeshita and Ospreay and Fletcher, because Omega and Takeshita has the structure where they know the people are burnt out after the Hollywood ending. So they would know the people are burnt out after the steel cage match, and they would have built to their crescendo the way they already did.
2 goddamn professionals. I love that fucking match.
It's so well done. It's so well done. I watched the best matches from last night back this morning, and all of them hit. I was like, I can't even go back and watch Cope and Mox. I can't. Can't do it to myself.
My
was
guess
too angry.
is, if he was wavering on that being the main event, I'm sure Moxley or somebody came to him and said, we got this big thing going. We're going to do the Derby thing later on. You can't cut our legs out from under us or putting us in the middle of the fucking card. We need to main event. And then Tony Khan went, okay. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that, big man boys. Imagine if Tony liked women's wrestling and Revolution ended with Tony versus Mariah. The end. And then
what am I doing? Why am I thinking this? Big man dogs, thank you, sir. I apologize. We've been doing way too much talking about this. They're girls. He's not interested. Why are we overthinking this? It is what it is. We say this forever. Tony Khan's not interested in these girls. Ill.
I just can't. I don't understand. I don't understand. Like I told you before we went live, I was like, you would have had to talk me off a hill of 10 out of 10 for this show after Ospreay and Fletcher. But like, damn, did it go right back down to earth? Like now I'm debating between an 8 and a 9. The pay-per-view main event is not even as bad as how great the rest of the show was that I'm not gonna drop down below 8. Like that's how good the rest of the pay-per-view is. That I'm not dropping down below 8, but I'm like debating if it's as low as an 8. That's how good the rest of the show is.
I don't think I'll ever get the main event now that I think about it. Because if this didn't main event, Mariah, then nothing is. Ever.
Nothing.
Sorry.
Nothing. This was it. Women's History Month. 18-month storyline. The greatest women's match in company history. One of your biggest stars, Timeless Toni Storm. A fucking WWE to AEW success story at that.
It's very true. Goddamn. Still not. They were at a 12.
It's over. It's over. The only thing that probably can get the women's main event is the only woman who is as good of a politicker as Mox and Cope, and that's Mercedes Moné. That's it. Who? That's the only person. Timeless Toni Storm's the only person at this point.
Yeah, I still don't see it.
I still don't see it either. Like I'm like literally, I left that show being like, I don't know if we're ever gonna see a women's pay-per-view main event, or we're gonna see a women's pay-per-view main event in their first 10 years of existence, if they're around that long. And it took 50 years with the other company. I'm not gonna go into that, but it took 50 years there. Man, I don't know how long we're gonna go here, because this guy does not seem like he respects or puts women's wrestling on any type of pedestal. And then I walked away from it like, yeah, cool. Swerve did the cool spot. It popped the crowd. I'm not convinced Swerve is winning the world title. I'm still not convinced. Because oh my God, it's like John Moxley has like his family captured. Like he's holding his family hostage at this point.
So bad. I'm sorry. No disrespect. It's reached. It's like we talk about the vortex. This is like a black hole. We've already fucking ruined Christian now. Shocking. Christian Cage is a fucking idiot. I don't understand how that happened. Did he do a cash in before and did it right after the actual match, like somebody smart would do? And now he's doing it in the middle. He literally
stole Kill Switch's contract and did a cash in at World's End 2023.
And now he's a dope. Good Lord, what happened?
You got another super chat donation. Thank you so much to Chuck Berries with the support. He says, did a Swerve really suffer a busted eardrum as he indicated on the post-show media scrum? I hope I'm not sounding gullible, but I had to ask. It does sound like that was a part of like the injury rundown that I heard about from the guys that were banged up. No one was like injured. I think except for probably this most serious injury or banged upness was Momo Watanabe, which was kind of obvious at the end of that matchup that she suffered like an ankle injury of some time because she was limping at the end of there. So other than that, I think Swerve, he probably does have a busted eardrum, and he's probably going to have to sit out and not wrestle until probably like Dynasty, if that's the Dynasty main event of Swerve and Mox.
I can't believe how uninterested I'm in that match. I don't think there's a guy Mox can face I'd be interested in, to be completely honest with you. Not one. Maybe Omega.
I think the only person for me, honestly, at this point is Darby, because I know that's the title change.
That's true, I suppose. Yeah, I really don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I'm over it.
I'm over it now. I Make Beats with another super chat donation for us. You guys are killing it so far. Thank you so much, guys, for all the support in the chat. He says, great pay-per-view, mostly, but where are the women, TK? No women's matches on a 4-match pre-show. No women's.
Really? If somebody tells you who they are, you should listen. To be fair, TK doesn't see gender.
He probably say that. That's his next move. His next move. I don't see gender. It's all about who's the most over. You know. We got another super chat donation from Dion Jenkins. Thank you so much, Dion, for the support. He says being there live was great. Oh, I didn't even know you were there live. That's awesome. He says pacing was good. I think the problem was match order. Crowd died after Will and Kyle. But like this is the thing. Like I can't. That's an excuse. That's an excuse from Mox and Cope. Nah, I'm good. If you were like we said, like Jimmy said, if you're a fucking goddamn professional like Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita, you could follow any match.
Goddamn right. Now listen, I don't love the match order rather, but it's not an excuse. You can't use that excuse.
Yeah, it's an excuse. It's an excuse. We got a couple of comments here. We got a bunch of people who said Toni and Mariah should have main evented. Nikki Boy says that's the perfect choice. SP3 Big Man Dog says Toni and Mariah was literally perfect to main event due to how short it was. Perfect match to put after against a tired crowd. Yes,
right.
Yes,
such a sprint. It's all crack. Shit's fantastic.
It's the most over the top violent women's matchup that I think I've ever seen.
It's yes.
I think I've ever seen.
Once somebody got stabbed in the box, I was like, "What are we doing?"
I was like, right in the match. Then with that fucking temper pie fucking fist match with the fucking taping on the fist. Oh my god. This is insane. I never thought they would top Britt and Rosa. And like some people said, Willow and Chris was up there. Yeah, it came close, but I don't think it passed the violence of Britt and Rosa. This match passed both of them. This match passed both. We got Dion in the set says I think Edge and Mox should have been before Mariah and Toni a main event in the cool. Yeah, that would probably be the best spot. Yeah, see, cool down spot right after the cage match.
See, this is why fucking fantasy booking is easier than regular booking because we don't have to hear Edge and Mox afterwards. So that's not gonna work. Already, I told them no, we're not doing that. I can see that already that these two cocktails going down. Does that.
They would be complaining, like, why do we have to follow that?
What?
And we didn't get the main event either. We getting paid this much. We got Big Man Doug says everyone I was talking to said this might be the best AEW show ever, and then the main event was a massive wet blanket. Literally, it was on that trajectory. On that trajectory, it was almost at the planet, and then they just ran out of gas.
Blew up.
They were so close. They were right there.
Terrible idea. What the fuck?
It's such a bad idea that I'm like, you're telling me no one said anything. No one said maybe we should rethink this.
And there's three. Mariah is the obvious option. Mariah and Toni's the obvious one option. And then there are other options besides Mox and Cole after that. Mox and Cole is like the fourth option.
At best. At best. Because I can make an argument for Swerve and Ricochet. I can make an argument for everybody after that, man. Like, what are we doing?
Good Lord. What a terrible idea.
I mean, I've said it many times. We can't wait for someone who has a 40% chance of dying. We can't.
I love Darby. Come on, man. We can't wait because the story is not going to carry. We thought it was, and it's not. Sorry.
It's not.
You're right.
It's not. Yeah, and that's the big thing, Big Man Dog. See, this is it. The crowd died because the match wasn't enjoyable. It was slow and plodding. That's what it was. And it wasn't the type of match that Cope and Mox could even succeed at.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. It's just a bad choice. I don't think they view themselves the way we view them. I think they view themselves as significantly better. Or more interesting, I should say, rather than better. Edge to me is kind of in that Randy Orton, Triple H kind of. If you don't have an editor, this could go sideways real fast. Like it's twice as long as it needs to be. Good Lord.
And how many times have we said that about Cope since he got here? That his matches are excessively too long. So what are we doing?
Yeah, what the fuck? Good Lord.
Yeah, Joel made a great comparison that it's been 5 years since Cope had a overly long matchup on a big time show that really ran flat, and that's that Randy Orton. I've never gone back and watched that Randy Orton WrestleMania 36 matchup in center. The walk-in brawl. Literally, I went to Wrestle Talk Studios for an upcoming episode of Tables, List, and Chairs, and we did our top 10 worst WrestleMania matches. I completely forgot about that one. I would have had that in my top 10, but I literally I saw Jay showed up at my door, and he was just like, all right, forget that shit ever happened. Don't go back and watch it. Just forget it ever happened. And it's like it didn't happen to me because I did my top 10. And then when someone else had that on their list, I was like, God damn it, that is a top 10 worst WrestleMania match.
I just got quite a few of those. He's got a bad match with Shawn Michaels at the Rumble. Which Rumble that is? 05?
04? 04, 05? Yeah, 05 probably.
How's this match stink? It's Shawn Michaels. It's slow. It's really slow. Really long.
Because Cope needs to realize that his best matches are these plunder brawls. When you try to go technical, it's very much hit or miss. And this was a guaranteed miss. And he still decided to do it.
Not a bad idea.
I don't think no, I don't. Big Man Dog says they could have opened with Mox versus Cope, and I still wouldn't care.
That's facts. I gotta be honest. I love this layout. All right, first is Hangman MJF, right? Then
perfect opener. Perfect opener in my opinion.
Then it's Mercedes and Momo. That's probably solid.
That's the right choice because the crowd wasn't going to be into that much. So the earlier the better for that. That was a good choice as well.
Then it's Swerve and Ricochet picking back up.
Yep.
And then it's Brody and Okada. I gotta be honest. That's a good match, by the way. It's a good match.
It was.
I'd slide Edge and Mox after that. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
That's your spot.
Do the number one contender match and do the championship match right after.
Done and dusted. You're welcome. Ta-da. I cut 10 minutes off it too, with relative ease. It's a little nonsense, but good Lord. 26 minutes.
The perfect length is like 15 minutes. It's a championship matchup. So at least 15 minutes. 15 minutes. That's the perfect length.
15 minutes. You can even make Cage look an idiot, and we all move on.
I'm about to see. I think the Fatal 4-Way at World's End was shorter than this matchup. That's insane. That you had 4 people in the main event. That was shorter than this fucking match. Who produced this?
First of all, whoever produced it is not responsible for the time allotted. Who thought it was a good idea to give these niggas 25 minutes? Good Lord. Ugh.
Oh my God, yes. The World's End main event. Moxley, Hangman, Jay White, and Orange Cassidy. 15 minutes, 39 seconds.
Maybe this is a psyop to make us all forget the Devil storyline. You ever think about that?
3D chess, y'all. 3D chess, y'all.
This already might be one more harmful. I ain't gonna hold you. What the fuck?
It might be. Like, no, it's gotten to that point where we're debating, is this the worst AEW storyline of all time? It's honestly made me forget that the Elite ended like a fart, because that was a better ending than this. At least we had that first month when it was good. Like
Right.
it feels like the Death Riders were only good for like 3 weeks. Like they somehow were a shorter time of being good than the Elite storyline.
What the fuck? Just end this fucking thing. You know, I'd pretend like it never happened. Fucking Pac and Claudio are dead, right? And Marina's dead. And Wheeler's worthless. I would just have Mox show up by himself. He just shows up. We don't even acknowledge it. He just wrestles alone. And then Darby shows up at some point. Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. Should have been it. All right, guys, keep sending those super chat donations. Always appreciate how much love y'all show in the chat, and always giving your thoughts on this show. We'll go very quickly through the 0 hour because I know my good brother here did not watch the 0 hour. And I don't, and like even with the 0 hour, like 0 hour, I would have been more upset that the 0 hour was like 50% ROH. Like I would have been more upset with that if it wasn't for the main event. The main event picks me off enough that every other complaint I have on the show does not seem as bad.
Jesus.
So the 0 hour opener was Commander, the Ring of Honor World Television Champion, teaming up with Commander to face Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. This was just an all-action kind of sprint of just high spots. You get the dive to the outside. Oh, Commander had a sweet-looking tope suicida out to the outside, just ramming dude into the guardrail at one point. Then he got caught with one by Blake Christian. I didn't like the finish here because Blake Christian is being built up on Ring of Honor television to potentially get a shot at Commander's TV title. So I didn't understand why he had to be the one to take the finish here. While Christian was in a fireman's carry, Commander sprung off the back into a Canadian destroyer on Lee Johnson, followed it up with scaling the ropes for a massive dive out to Lee, and then Commander finished off Blake Christian in the ring with a 450 splash for the victory here. A fun matchup to open things up. I gave it 3 stars, but nothing too offensive or anything like that. Do you think they're ever going to give Commander an actual storyline, though? Like, it feels like he's been here forever. He's fun to watch, but they just don't want to give him a storyline. Do they have, like, Lucha Bros PTSD?
I can give him a storyline. We're gonna give him a storyline where he hits his head at some point in a match, and then he's afraid to climb the ropes. He has PTSD of some kind. So his career goes downhill fast, and then he gets released, and then I'm happy.
Jesus Christ.
That's the story. You're welcome.
I gotta switch.
Off the top of my head, you're welcome.
I gotta switch over to this one just to give you this.
The words and opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
We have Hologram now. We have a cooler version of what you do.
No, I'm talking about Hologram. Hologram, is he gonna get a storyline? If I said Commander, I apologize. I meant Hologram.
No. Oh, no, we could do no. I won't do that. That'd be nice. I like Hologram. Hologram can stay. A storyline, I don't know about all that. You're asking for a lot. Just do your flips and get out of here. You're welcome.
I do like the tag team of Commander and Hologram, but I really feel like this company has PTSD with luchadors ever since Phoenix and Penta. But
how long were you there, Lucha Brothers? 3 years?
No, like 5 years.
Jesus, you got 5 years out of them. What do you want? Push Hologram. No, we're not saying they're those guys. To be clear, not comparing Hologram. No. Yeah, but they're talented. Give them a little push.
Yeah. Then he had an 8-man tag team matchup. TNT champion Daniel Garcia teaming up with the Undisputed Kingdom, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong to face the Shane Taylor Promotions. This was a pretty decent one here. The finish, though, was really about kind of building up the heat and the tension between Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia after their no contest finish to their TNT title match a couple of weeks ago on Collision, with Garcia locking on the the Dragon Tamer on Lee Moriarty as Cole was about to take him out with the Panama Sunrise, and Garcia kind of taking the glory away from Adam Cole and staring him down as he did it. Garcia celebrated with the fans post-match while Cole, Strong, and O'Reilly raised their hands in victory in the ring. This was decent enough. I give it 2 3/4 stars. Not much they're doing with Shane Taylor Promotions, and I don't understand why Lee Moriarty, after he lost to Danny Garcia in the TNT title match on Collision on Saturday, why did he have to take the loss here when you have the infantry right there? Like, I didn't understand. He's the Ring of Honor pure champion. Y'all made half of this pre-show ROH showcase, and then y'all didn't have any of the ROH champions win anything.
Isn't Sean Dean in infantry?
Yes.
Well, Sean Dean's one of the guys. You know this already. They love Sean Dean. He's one of their people, we'll say. I'll be nice. We're gonna keep it clean. We're gonna keep it clean. The man's just doing his job. You defend master, whatever. I mean, you defend your boss, whatever you get the chance. You do what you got to do, obviously.
That was as clean as you could get. I will say. I will give you that. This is also true. Power Driver Finisher says SP3, you stopped reviewing it for a reason. Yeah, Tony Khan don't care about Ring of Honor, so why should I? I agree.
Who books that show? Is it still Tony Khan?
Yeah.
Why don't you hire a booker? You even gotta pay him.
Seriously, like you said before, your committee is like 20 people deep. You're telling me five of those guys can't do Ring of Honor? Since you're in the weeds now and you've been rejecting creative ideas, you said, how about you give Ring of Honor to one of your committee guys?
Yes. Good Lord, they really have 20 guys?
That's what he said before. He said when things weren't going so well, he had a booking committee. Now that things are going well booking wise, he's like, oh, I'm in the weeds. It's all me.
Gotcha. Of course it is. Hot take. I need more than 3 people to book a show. Hot take. Sorry. I don't care what anybody says.
I agree. I can agree with that. We get a video package of the Hurt Syndicate training for their title defense on the show with CT Fletcher. Then we get Chris Jericho going one-on-one with Gravity. And smartly, they did not do a match. They just did an angle. Gravity came out and he greeted his mother and sister who were seated at ringside. As commentary told us, worst kept secret in wrestling is that Bandito is Gravity's older brother. Before the match even begun, Jericho clocks him with the Floyd the Bat, and then the Learning Tree put a 3-on-1 beatdown on him. Referee Aubrey Edwards called the match before it even began. Bandito rushed to the ring to try to make the save, but the numbers get the better of him, and he suffers the same fate. Bill gives a massive chokeslam to Gravity as his mother and sister were crying at ringside. Bill then held up Bandito and forced him to watch as Jericho pulls off Gravity's mask. Gravity has to like frantically put his hair in front of his face to hide his face. He gets up and he's still trying to hide his face as Jericho hits him with the Judas effect. Referee Aubrey Edwards then goes and gets the mother and the sister to come to the ring. They all get in the ring to try to tend to Gravity. Jericho teases using the bat on the mother and sister as Bandito pleads before being booted in the face by Jericho. Jericho flipped off the crowd before leaving with Bill and Keith. This whole thing garnered a lot of heat, and I was like, this was a better use of time than actually doing a match.
Agreed. Did I hear you right? Did you say Aubrey Edwards brought the family into the ring?
Yeah.
Aubrey Edwards brought the family into the ring with 3 dangerous, clearly villainous fucking people and almost got them kicked in the face? Are you serious?
I was like, Aubrey, I don't know if you're concerned for the family or you're trying to get a family death in the ring. Like, what are we doing? Big Bill's in the ring. What are we doing?
She's up there now. I got to put her out there with Wardlow and Damian Priest. Dumb wrestling characters, I'm sorry. What? You did what? Why? An idiot. Right.
Why was that the right decision? Huh?
Jesus, fucking idiot.
Shout out to Joel Jimenez in the chat. He says, yo, I was at the show last night. Such a fire show. Glad. It seems like a lot of the people that went to the show have a much better kind of view of the show overall than the people that watched at home.
I would imagine so. Them motherfuckers are drunk. You were forced to be sober watching this shit. Watch Edge and Mox sober. Good Lord, shoot me.
I gotta start telling my missus, buy me some wine before these pay-per-views, you know? might come on here and be like, show was great. Show had no problem. Swerve jumped on the motherfuckers at the end. That's all I remember.
What the fuck?
But we go to the wrestling aunts, and they're with Young Gravy, a rapper. He's talking about MJF and Hangman Adam Page. Piquet asks what Gravy has lined up, and he said, just chilling. I guess I wrote that down in my notes because that bopped me. That bopped me. She gave him an opportunity to promote whatever he wants, and he said, just chilling.
Just chilling?
What? This nigga high. I was like, it's California. This nigga's high.
Bruh man ass nigga. Just chilling.
Just chilling.
What?
Up next, we get the match that was advertised firstly for the 0 hour as it's Team Big Boom AJ, along with Big Justice and the Rizzler dressed as Orange Cassidy. Big Boom AJ teams up with Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe to face the MXM Collection, Mansoor and Mason Madden, and Johnny TV with Taya Valkyrie. This was all the fun shenanigans. This was a comedy match, and it was supposed to be that, and it was that. Cassidy and Johnny TV kicked things off. Johnny breakdanced as Cassidy did a little shuffle before putting his hands in his pocket. MXM Collection basically teased a dive to the outside and instead opt to strike a pose, which Cassidy comes back to join in the giftable moment until he then goes to the outside and joins the Rizzler and Big Justice, and eats the big chunky cookie. Cassidy then hits a dive and shoved the cookie in Mansoor's mouth, who cried that he's on a diet. That popped me. Mason Madden then hits a black hole slam. Big Boom AJ, once again, he does not look out of place because he's a former wrestler. He actually, it's not like your regular kind of celebrity match where they do like one or two things and then move out the way. He is able to kind of do a comeback in the ring, which is nice to know. And then you have him and Mason Madden started going at it. Big Justice gets in the ring and he has to give him a hug to get out of the ring. But eventually, they isolate Mason Madden and they give him a triple big boom or a power boom, the big power bomb, the shield bomb for the 1-2-3 to pick up the victory. You had Harley Cameron at one point. She came out to make the save when Taya Valkyrie got involved in this one. This was just all the guest appearances that you would possibly get, and he even got more in the post match as the Murder Machines came out, Lance Archer and Brian Cage. They surrounded the baby faces in the ring, and this brought out Powerhouse Hobbs, who marched down to the ring. He lays out Mason Madden with a spine buster for good measure. Then Orange Cassidy goes to ringside and he brings in Adam Devine and Tony Cavallaro of Righteous Gemstones, and they get in the ring and they hit a double choke slam on Mansoor before putting on some Orange Cassidy shades. This is probably the moment that's probably going to go viral for AEW as the Bring the Boom song hits and Team Big Boom AJ celebrates. This was harmless fun. I enjoyed myself. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't that bad.
Glad to hear it. Why is Big Boom AJ famous again? Like, what does he do?
He's a famous TikToker, the Costco guys.
Like Costco, like the store?
Yes. They did a bunch of TikToks and stuff, and they got famous. They've even been featured in like movies that I've seen. Like people watching them on their TikToks in different movies I've seen with my missus.
The downfall of Western civilization as we know it. What the fuck is... Thank you, sir. I'm of the Paul Heyman school. If we can't get an actual celebrity, we should just do no celebrities. What the fuck? How is this helpful? I got to see the numbers. Of pre and post Big Boom AJ.
I mean, to be fair, they only keep them on the YouTube shows. They only keep them on the pre-show. So if it's not on the main card, I can't be too offended by it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, keep him there. No complaints from me.
Big Man Dog says Big Boom maybe AJ has better in-ring psychology than at least half the roster.
Poor Cajun fucking Archer. They were getting this push, and then he realized, oh, I do know these two. I remember them. I used to push them. That's enough of that. Ew.
Like, ew, why would I do that? I love Louis in the chat saying big with the whites.
I should just say that from now on. He's big with the whites.
Big with the whites. Chase says, yeah, he used to just share all the good deals with Costco and would rate it a boom and doom.
Oh my God. Is TikTok the worst thing that happened to America? Some people say Trump, but we got to really discuss fucking TikTok.
I think TikTok has only elevated the kind of short attention spans of Americans.
Certainly. Let's destroy that. Lord. Oh, you're out of your fucking mind. Enough of you with your moral hand wringing.
I tell you. Then we get the main card, which Jimmy did watch, which kicked off, like we said before, with two former AEW world champions clashing as MJF loved him coming out to the beginning of Hangman's theme, which got the crowd got excited. They were like, oh, we're getting the old Hangman theme. And then it just transitions to MJF's theme, which got him the heat that he was probably looking for because the people did want to sing his song. Then Hangman Adam Page comes out to a big pop, and we have our opening contest. The match starts out as you would expect, both men slugging it out immediately, with Page getting the upper hand. MJF ringed the arm and threw him into the corner, which allowed him a brief sleeper from Page, which MJF escaped with a jawbreaker. MJF did the signature, running the ropes, and then the pelvic thrust, basically teabagging Hangman, which just pissed him off. Hangman started hitting him with big forearms until he tried to disc his forearm, and MJF spit in his face. He then eye pokes him, but Page clobbered him with a springboard lariat to the back on the apron. He followed up with a slingshot dive. Page wanted a buckshot lariat, but MJF collapsed to the outside. I love how this was kind of like MJF obviously watched the Jay White versus Hangman match from Wrestle Dream, because he was coming up with all the unique ways that Jay White did to avoid the buckshot. But it was also MJF didn't just want to out wrestle Hangman. He wanted to embarrass him. So a different voice, you'd be bragging to the fans, being like, I'm the man. This is my fucking company. Both men, we get a water wheel drop, get a power breaker by MJF onto Hangman. Hangman landing high on his neck. He then follows up with a water wheel drop and then a wrist clutch DDT. Both start trading small packages, counters. MJF escaped the Deadeye and then tried a power driver, but Page was able to immediately counter that into the Deadeye for a near fall. We get a knee lift between the ropes by MJF, who wanted a heat seeker, but Page escaped and then hits the buckshot lariat, but MJF's able to get his foot on the rope. MJF stumbles to his feet, then spits again at Page, but Page decks him with the right hand. Page wanted another buckshot lariat, but for a third time, MJF rolled to the outside. Page stalked him down and then tried to charge at him against the steel steps, but MJF moves out the way and he goes shoulder first into the steel steps. Page goes for a fourth attempt at the buckshot lariat, but MJF counters that into the salt of earth armbar. He transitions into a crossface and then a reverse arm breaker. Page is desperately trying to get to the ropes. He tries to reach with his other arm, but he grabs the other arm and has both arms locked until Page is able to get his foot on the rope. MJF then rips Tony Schiavone's headset off and calls Page a zero and drops some F-bombs for good measure. The delay allowed Page to try for a tombstone, but his arm wouldn't allow it. So he did a moonsault off the apron into the tombstone position, but MJF floated over and hits a vicious-looking tombstone on a set-up steel chair in the corner of the guardrail. The doctors tend to Page. Eventually, MJF gets back into the ring. Page is almost counted out. He gets to the count of 9 before he finally dives back in, and MJF just loses it at this point, and his insecurities come out in twofold. He almost is in tears at this point because he desperately wants to win, and then he screams, "Why you and not me?" Why you and not me? What's so special about you and not me? Why not MJF? He's screaming at the fans the same thing. He tries to go for the heat seeker attempt again, but it's countered as Paige walks him to the middle of the ring and hits a dead-eye cool reversal spot there. He follows it up. He drops him to his knees and then follows it up with the most violent looking angel's wings I think I've ever seen. An homage to Christopher Daniels, a callback to his rivalry with Daniels, as well as MJF attacking Daniels in the lead up to this matchup. Paige then skins the cat. He goes to the apron. He gets into position. He's still holding his neck from the tombstone, selling it very well. And MJF stumbles to his feet, but he cannot avoid the fifth attempt at the buckshot lariat, second of the matchup, and it's a 1-2-3. Hangman Adam Page beats MJF, evens the score with MJF. Now they are 1-1 in singles competition as Hangman Adam Page scores his first pay-per-view victory since All Out 2024 when he defeated Swerve Strickland, and thus his road to redemption is underway or officially on the right path, while MJF's insecurities cost him the victory here. I thought this was a great opener to the show. Really enjoyed this one from start to finish. Like I said, I love how the character work and the lead up to the matchup really dictated how the matchup unfold. I gave this one 4.25 stars. What did you think?
Really good match. Before we get started, commentary is fucking heinous. At least here. I missed Ian. I missed Nigel. Though he'll be popping up shortly.
Yeah,
I really could use him in this fucking match because they really went off about fucking nothing. But good match. I thought Page's selling of his arm and his neck were fantastic. I thought the opening was a little weird, but once they got going, building the match around the buckshot, I thought was really well done. Tombstone spot on the chair was awesome. And I think the right person won. That might be too strong. I'm not mad at the finish, we'll say. It works.
I think they couldn't go wrong here. I think either one could have won, and it wasn't the wrong decision.
But Hangman's been a lot of big matches recently, so I like Hangman going over. I went 4 stars.
Not bad. We're in similar paths. We got which means that Dave will probably give it 4 3/4. Seth Fett says 4 1/4 for him. We got Nicky Boy who says really solid opener. I gave it 4 stars. We got Seth Fett, he says it was good. The opening match of the card, the main card was good. We got I Make Beats who says great opening matchup. So a lot of people enjoyed this one here, and Frantic World did as well. But yeah, this was the right choice to open up the show. I think we all kind of figured that because MJF, if he doesn't close, he's gonna open. So this was the right choice.
Time to go home. Did my work. Time to go.
Got a long ride back to Long Island from Los Angeles. So gotta go early. Next up, we get the TBS Championship up for grabs as Momo Watanabe from Stardom challenges Mercedes Moné, the TBS champion. Nigel McGuinness replaces Taz at the commentary desk for this one. As I was like, thank God. Yeah, Taz. I think where you're talking about with the opening matchup, Taz at one point says that everybody at the announce table are awful people, just like MJF. And then they turn it back on the Spanish announce table. I was like, what the fuck? So Nigel being here was welcome change. Watanabe was having none of Mercedes dancing early on. Got a snap mayor, faked the kick, and just patted Monet on the back and called her cute. Shoving contest led to Monet hitting a shoulder block and danced too much as Watanabe hit a series of kicks. Watanabe during this match kicked the shit out of Monet a couple of times, including towards the end. We got an overhead swipe from Monet, who scaled the ropes and tried an arm drag. Watanabe sank in a crossface chicken wing. Both women traded pin attempts until Watanabe punt kicked Monet right in the arm before delivering a high kick as well. Watanabe wanted a Meteora, but Monet was able to dodge and sink in a crossface. She got to the ropes, though. Watanabe wanted a crunchy, but Monet countered into a powerbomb off the apron. That looked vicious. That that thud when she dropped to the floor. I was like, God damn. Back inside, Monet followed up with a Meteora for a 2 count. At this point, we see Billy Starks is in a luxury suite taking notes as commentary brings up her past association with ROH Women's World Champion Athena. So is she taking notes for herself or Athena? Monet wanted the moneymaker, but Watanabe rode through into a crunchy, dropping her right on the back of her neck. Monet was able to recover. She hits 2 of the 3 amigos until Watanabe put the brakes on and hits 2 of her own, trapping Monet in the Tree of War and just wearing her out with some kicks. Watanabe exploded with the drop kick in the corner for a 2 count and did the CEO dance, missing a high kick. Monet tried a Okana roll, but Watanabe trapped her in the chicken wing again. But Monet was able to reverse that into a pin attempt. We get Monet with a backstabber and a Meteora off the second rope for a near fall, leaving her frustrated. Momo dodged another Meteora and hits a series of knee lifts. Back inside, you get both ladies trading crossface and then the chicken wing attempts. The crowd is getting heavily into it at this point. We get a big power bomb from Monet for a near fall, taking too much time going up to the top rope. She's cut off by Watanabe, who hits a spinning Uranagi off the top rope. A release suplex from Watanabe as she wanted the peach sunrise, but Monet kept rolling through. Momo held onto her wrist and fired off some boots, catching Monet right in the mouth with a kick right as he held her up. She was trying to hit the chest, but she caught her right in the mouth. That was cool. Watanabe got a buzzsaw kick before Mercedes just barely got her shoulder up for the 2 count. Watanabe went up top and missed the Meteora. At that point, I think that's when she suffered the ankle injury. And then Monet followed up with a crossbody for a 2 count. She then followed that by connecting with the Moneymaker. And instead of going right for the pin, she goes to the Statement Maker, which is a better combination. Just hitting the Moneymaker is not enough. It never goes well. It always looks good on the Japanese talent, and it did look good here, but to follow it up with the Statement Maker, that's more of Mercedes' bag for a finisher. And Momo taps out to give Monet another victory. She is now 16-0 in AEW competition, the undefeated TBS champion, successful here. I would have cut like 5 minutes off of this one, but it's still a really good matchup. I give it 3 3/4 stars. What did you think?
I thought the opening was really awkward. I don't know. When was the last time they fought each other?
Back last August was their first match.
Maybe there's some chemistry issues. I thought it was really awkward. Picked up towards the middle. 5 minutes too long? Yeah, we can go with that. Momo's kicks almost make it worth it. Almost. But not quite. She catches her. It's like she kicks her once, then she does it the second time, and that one like knocks her the fuck out. Which was amazing to watch. Though I would imagine you don't want Japanese lady knocking out your biggest female star in the company. Probably not the greatest idea in the goddamn world. But 3.5. I'm gonna go 3.5.
Not bad. I could agree. I could see that. We got King Potato who says Mercedes Hogan with another W, brother.
Lord. I'm not against these vibes of her versus not stars. At least the TBS championship is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. When she's facing the likes of like Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale, these feel like women's world title matches. When she's facing the guest stars, that kind of feels like TBS champion.
Yeah, what it's supposed to be. A big star holding a secondary belt.
We got I make beats. He says I like the finisher. Frantic World says those Momo kicks were nasty. That last one was just like right in the mouth. God damn.
Jeez.
I was like, whew. And we got Ardit. I don't know. Can you say this right? What's the name?
Arjit.
Thank you so much for the super chat donation. You guys have been awesome so far with those. Thank you for that. He says, sup, y'all. Late listening. Yeah, main event was bad. I miss enjoying Mox. One thing, at least with wrestlers, think it's more ignorance than malice with main event. Yeah, It's just not having your finger on the pulse and not listening to anybody.
Yeah, I outside of Hulk Hogan, I think most politicians think they're in the right when they say the horseshit that comes out of their face. I don't think Triple H is going out there having a 30-minute match he thinks is going to be boring, but it is. The end result is the only thing that matters. It's boring. Sorry. No disrespect.
And you said this when he was having like 20-minute matches with Buddy Matthews, that he was basically looking at Triple H's tapes from past his prime Triple H when he was having fucking 20 and 30-minute matches with Undertaker and Batista, the 25-minute match from WrestleMania 35, like that shit. Like, it's like Cope is like taking notes from that.
It's the wrong time period, sir. Please don't. Please don't do that. Though now with one leg, you kind of are like old Triple H. Please stop.
Yeah, that's true. It is true.
You were that guy with 2 legs, and you're 50. Can we stop? I'm gonna stop. I like Edge. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I do. Please stop. Just stop.
Dion Jenkins says maybe they're going to have her break Jade Cargill's record. She would have to get past All In to make Jade's record, because Jade won it in January of 2022 and lost it in May of 2023.
Oh, well then I can hang till then.
I think the logical thing, if you want to do a first ever pay-per-view women's matchup, is Mercedes holding it till probably like past breaking the record and then saying there's only one more title for me to collect, and that's the Women's World Championship.
Oh, and do a title versus title, and it's not going to be an event. Sorry. I don't know what the fuck Mox is doing. I'm sorry. He's just not. No disrespect. Oh, that's insanity. I hope you're not being serious, Louisville. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that, Louis. The Trips versus Dragon match. Dragon is the only person who dragged four and a. I can think I give that like 4.5 at the time. I gave it 4.5 stars that opener to WrestleMania 30. Don't do that. Don't disrespect the Dragon like that.
Yeah, Dragon get a 4-star on anybody. It is what it is.
Me and Jimmy do a good job of policing opinions. We do a good job. I did that shit last night. Your boy LaRon, put up my post about the Toni and Mariah matchup, and he's like, oh my god, I'm so upset it's not the main event. This means that the women's championship is the least important matchup from a pay-per-view perspective. I was like, don't do that to the women. Don't do that to the women. Just because it's not in the spot that you wanted it to. I agree with you. It should have main evented, but that does not mean that what the woman put out there made it less prestigious because it wasn't the main event.
Yeah. And they had a solid spot. It's right in the middle of the card. That's like a semi-main spot.
Yeah. Well, like honestly, if I'm not making it the main event, which I once again, I would have made it the main event. But if I'm not gonna make it the main event, then that's probably the spot I would put it in.
Yeah. It went on first of all the big matches. Got the awesome shit out the way. And then it looks even better in hindsight. You're welcome.
Big Man Dog says no way he was a tiger suplex. Yeah, he does a fucking tiger suplex in the matchup. Like Triple H was doing moves he never did before in that match.
Right? I'm so happy. Should have retired. Should have been his last match.
I call it the second greatest WrestleMania opener of all time.
Owen Brett?
Absolutely. That's in my top 10 best WrestleMania matches.
Wow.
I got heat because Wrestle Talk posted my we did TLC for the best WrestleMania matches, and I got heat because people were like, oh man, these people just started watching wrestling, didn't have any matches below WrestleMania 10. Mind you, I was the only person in that out of the 3 of us that had our list. I had 2 matches from WrestleMania 10. I didn't just have 1. I had 2 matches from WrestleMania 10, and I literally was the person who had like the WrestleMania 10 was like the farther back out of everybody's list that I had that matchup. People were getting upset. Oh, no Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat. No Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior. I was like, literally, Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat is the only argument from the first 9 WrestleManias that you can make an argument for is top 10.
I mean, how can you want to do Hogan Andre out of whatever you call it? But yeah.
But this is best. It's not biggest. If this was biggest WrestleMania matches of all time, then yeah, Hogan and Andre's a top 3 one, like for sure. Maybe it's number 1. But best means the quality of the matchup. So I've watched Hogan and Andre on a few occasions. It's not that good.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think there's much of an argument to be made for that match. It's not like Hogan and Rock. Rock and say, no, it's just great for different reasons. Then it's great, but it's still great. Hogan and Andre's not great. It's just not. It just isn't.
It's just isn't. Keenan says May 23rd, 2018 was the last time Momo Watanabe has been a singles champion. She gets all the shots. Like she got a shot at the top prize in Stardom. She got a shot at the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. She got a shot at this TBS Championship here. She got a shot at the IWGP Women's Championship. And that's like in the last 6 months. And she's lost every one of them.
Is it true she's 24? Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, she's been wrestling since she was 14.
Okay, so stop fucking. I'll be nice. Good luck to her. If you kick less people in the face, I think things go better for you. Just a suggestion. Just a suggestion to improve your lot in life. Stop kicking people in the mouth. Some people take it personally. Like Bubba Ray, he takes that shit very personally, even if it's not him. Very serious.
Make his Joy's mouth shut. Why his mouth shut?
Motherfucker. Jesus, take it easy.
That motherfucker. That little nagger. You know he was close. In his head, he said it. Yes, she's only 24. Momo.
Oh, before I forget, I'm on your bandwagon, sir. I'm on the bandwagon. We're on the the Undertaker bandwagon finally. This outrageous horseshit.
What he did to Mickey?
He didn't try to get Mickey fired. He knew somebody had to go, motherfucker. You know somebody had to go, and you knew to be the girl. Fuck him, man.
There's only one woman's trainer. Like, I love Fightful trying to be diplomatic and say, "Oh, we don't know for sure." Like, but there's only one woman's trainer. Come on, he knows. Taker knows.
Fuck.
Again, Michelle McCool over Mickey. Again? 15 years later? Again?
Disrespect. Mickey James, the 13th or so greatest fucking WWE female wrestler ever, who also should have been ahead of fucking Alundra Blaze on that fucking list.
No, you know why she wasn't? That's the argument. They never respected her. They never pushed her. Even though there was those years in the mid 2000s where there's no argument, especially after Trish and Lita leave. She's the best women's wrestler on the roster. They never treated her like that.
That's true. Very disrespectful. Goddamn shame.
It's so sad. It's really sad. It's not even. It's past the disrespectful. It's called the sad. Like how much they keep doing this to her. At the point that I'm like, yo, just go side with AEW just to spite them, just to piss them off. They put your shit in a garbage bag, and send it to you.
Dude, I'd shoot that place up. Out of your fucking mind.
She's never said anything bad about them too. Like it's just like, damn.
I mean, her husband works there. Let's be careful. I get you. Man.
Yeah. She's like, I want my husband to succeed at least. Next up, third match on the card, number 1 contender for the AEW World Title up for grabs. Swerve Strickland goes one-on-one with Ricochet. We get Ricochet coming out. He's got the embassy robe that he stole, and it has his logo on the back now. So he had the better of the two entrances, because what the fuck were they thinking with the drum solo to Swerve's theme music? That shit didn't even sound right. I was like, what? Ew.
Well, what do you want him to do? He wanted Kendrick, but he had to settle for this white guy. What do you want? Didn't Chase say fucking he used to get Kendrick on the phone? Wasn't that Chase? I don't forget nothing. I don't forget a goddamn thing. Swerve with Kendrick number. Hilarious. All right, go ahead.
We get a lightning quick start as they both start trying to hit their home run shots until Swerve mows down Ricochet, who took a quick powder to the outside. Back inside, Strickland caught Ricochet in a reverse torture rack rib breaker before he paintbrushed Ricochet repeatedly in the corner. Strickland started stalking Ricochet down and was pulled into the corner, allowing Ricochet to mock Nana with the robe. Strickland wasn't having none of that as he was relentless and keep attacking Ricochet even on the outside. Nana tried to calm him down, realizing that Swerve had to get the match won inside the ring, but Swerve didn't realize that it was Nana, and he shoves him down to the floor, not realizing it was him. The distraction allowed Ricochet to walk the barricade, and he hits this huge-looking house call out of nowhere to Swerve. He then hits a springboard lariat back in the ring, and then followed up with a lion salt for a 2 count. At this point, Nana's had enough. He opts to go to the back. He even flips off Swerve. Ricochet waves by to him as Swerve can't believe what's going on. Ricochet starts trash talking Leslie Jones in the crowd, which caused her to become the biggest Swerve mark that there was, to the point that Nigel thought that it was Prince Nana's mother. Excalibur had to inform him that it was comedian and SNL alum Leslie Jones. Taking too long in the corner, Swerve cut Ricochet off, and both teetered on the top. But Ricochet does a springboard Dragon Rana, only for Swerve to roll through into a powerbomb, and then that powerbomb transitioned to a power slam for a great sequence that really popped the crowd. Both went to the apron and started trading kicks until Ricochet managed a poison Rana on the edge of the ring frame, and luckily in Swerve's case, he had more success than Hologram earlier in the show. Ricochet brought Swerve to the Spanish announce table, but he couldn't get Swerve up, allowing Swerve to hit this great looking freaking cop killer right on the table, and the table didn't even break. He says that it was solid oak, so that's why it didn't break, said Excalibur. Back in the ring, Swerve followed up with the Swerve stomp, but Ricochet was able to kick out. Ricochet wanted the low blow like he won in the first matchup against the two, but was blocked, so he went to the eyes before hitting a Northern Light suplex into a brainbuster. Ricochet goes to the top rope, and for I think this is like either the first or second time he's hit it in AEW. It's a beautiful looking 630 senton, but this cocky son of a bitch has to walk around the ring like I'm hot shit before he even goes for the pinfall. So Swerve kicked out at 2. At this point, Prince Nana comes down and he steals the embassy robe back. He starts putting it on to a huge pop from the Los Angeles crowd until Ricochet is thrown to the ropes by Swerve and hits a tope suicida, wiping out Nana and then ripping the robe off of him and putting it on himself. Swerve tries to dive to the outside, but Ricochet catches him in a Death Valley driver in midair and lands him right on his fucking head with that. That shit was nasty too. Ricochet then gets in the face of Dr. Kim Jong from Hangover fame and starts talking trash to him. He's sitting next to Paul Walter Hauser. This was just all the celebrities in the crowd were here for this one. Back inside, still wearing the embassy robe, Ricochet hits the vertical for a close near fall, but again, Swerve kicks out. Loading up, Ricochet wants the spirit gun, but Prince Nana comes into the ring. He tries to rip the robe off of Ricochet and wrestles him with it. Strickland goes for a roll-up, but he only gets a 2 when Ricochet pushes him off, sends him into Nana, and he crushes him to the outside. Ricochet nearly stole the pin that way, but then Swerve pops up. He hits 2 house calls, but he only gets a 2 count. But the crowd is on their feet as Ricochet puts Ricochet up. He hits the big pressure 1, 2, 3. Swerve Strickland defeats Ricochet to become the new number 1 contender. The new number 1 contender for the AEW World Championship. I thought this was a tremendous matchup. They had the crowd on their feet. They were with this one through the entire way. You knew who the heel was. The crowd was firmly behind Swerve throughout this one. And then the post-match was the nice little cherry on top as Swerve gains possession of the embassy robe. He drops to his knee and hands it to Prince Nana. Prince Nana is celebrating that he's got his his legacy back, and then he drapes the robe over Swerve as he does the Swerve dance, and you see the wide shot of the entire Los Angeles crowd doing the Swerve while you drive dance, as Swerve has finally reclaimed the robe and finally has his shot back at the AEW World Championship. So an awesome moment to close out this one, and what I thought was, like I said, a tremendous bout here. I give it 4 3/4 stars. I love this match. What did you think?
Great match. Everything you said except less jubilant. 4 1/4. I thought it was really well done. Finish was I hate those finishes. Finisher, kick out, finish, done. I hate those fucking finishes. I hate them so fucking much. But this was really well done. Particularly the Nana stuff. Very well done. 4 1/4.
Yeah, it was very, very much like my favorite type of pay-per-view matches, and this is an instance that happens a lot on this show, is when the build dictates the story of the matchup, and the whole psychology, the whole story of the matchup is surrounded by the embassy robe and Prince Nana, and then you have two guys that work really well with each other, and then Ricochet is just he's a fucking awesome heel. He's just the biggest douchebag, cocky, getting in celebrities' faces, making them get angry and try to cheer against him. He's just so good in this role, and Swerve was the perfect opponent for him on this night. So that's why I love this match.
Actually, you know what? 4 stars. I forgot how annoying fucking Leslie Jones was in this fucking match. Sit the fuck down, please.
Yo, she was sweating bullets. She was sweating bullets.
Ew. Please sit down. Maybe that's what Swerve was talking about in the song. All right, think about it.
Oh my God. I'm
asking a question, sir. We don't know. Maybe it's possible. Consider it. Doing the research here.
You know what? I'm not going to give you a disclaimer for that. I'm just not. Craig Carter says Ricochet versus Swerve, Nana, and Leslie Jones.
Good Lord. Making you something. Sit down.
We got a super chat donation for our boy, Will Chisholm, in the chat. I haven't seen you in a while. Will, what's good? Good to see you. He says Swerve wanted the white guy first. Kendrick too woke and pro-black women. That DEI statement didn't help. LOL.
Oh shit! What did he say?
Kendrick? I don't know.
I thought it was Swerve.
Or it's Swerve. I don't know.
I'm very curious. I'm sure it was reckless. Did you watch the press conference?
I watched the TK part.
Oh, the one you come at the end, beginning.
Yeah, the end.
He's at the end.
No, Swerve. I think Swerve was second to last after before TK finished things up. Or no, was he the beginning? I think the Costco guy. I forget the order of it.
Costco guys at the press. What are we doing?
They announced that the Costco guys are signed to AEW.
What the fuck? Whatever. It's your money. Spend on what you want. Just keep off TV. Do what you want. I don't care.
We got Chuck Berries with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, Prince Nana to Leslie Jones. Didn't I tell you that Swerve don't want your black ass? LOL. He was fanning out, though.
You got a shot at Swerve? No, ma'am. Sorry. I don't care if you're fucking Holly Berry. You don't got a shot at Swerve. That ain't how that fucking works. Wrong. I'll be nice. Wrong shade to play.
Don't got the complexion. Don't got the complexion
No,
for the protection.
You do not, man. Sorry. Not my fault. Don't blame me.
King Potato says, I can't believe I'm going to say it, but Ricochet is the best heel in AEW right now. I mean, we've been saying it for weeks. I mean, you think it's still MJF, but I think it's Ricochet.
Did you not just watch this man try to set somebody on fire? And then scream as he's being carried away? Like, how dare you? Let me make my point. I know.
Have you not seen what Ricochet wears week to week? That is the biggest heel in AEW. No one plays up beat
this show. I have to put somebody else in contention. Sometimes you're so good at what you do, you don't even have to talk or speak English. Sorry, hey man.
Fair.
That boy
Fair.
good.
Got a couple of ratings here. Safet gives it 4.5. We got Nikki Boy says really good match to me, 4.25.
Been on point,
We
Nikki
got,
boy today. Been on point.
we got Christopher who says 4 stars. Chuck Berry says 4.5 for me. We also got Leslie, got more Leslie Jones references. Greg Carter second says Leslie Jones had that color purple sweat going.
Jesus. Holy. Yeah, that shit was outrageous. That shit was outrageous.
Oh man, for that, yeah, we gotta hit one of the bumpers. We gotta hit one of the bumpers.
Oh, speak, bitch. Come on now. Oh my God, Siobhan. What the hell is wrong with you?
How offended they all are. Fuck out of here.
That's wild. Yeah, really great matchup between these two. What do you think is next for Ricochet though?
That's interesting. I would not be surprised if Ospreay keeps him in the vortex because he wants him to do well, which bothers me. What would I do with him? I think I'd move. Are we done with Cole and Garcia yet?
It feels like we're getting close to being over. I wouldn't mind Ricochet moving over to the TNT title division.
Yeah.
Give Garcia an actual heel to go against.
Yeah, then he can retain the first time, then Ricochet wins it eventually because he's better at everything. Sorry. Garcia. Back in the line you go. It's a little delayed, but you go back with Sammy and Jack Perry. Everybody on that same, you're on the same timeline. I see it. It's just taking a little longer because you got here later. You're on that same timeline. That way. Sorry.
LA. Mid-Carter. Then we get next up the Continental Championship up for grabs. Kazuchika Okada defending against Brody King. Early on, Okada's playing a little bit of mind games as he barks at King, but foolishly tried a power slam and couldn't get him up. So King hit one of his own and Okada took a powder. King then starts lighting this dude up. This dude looked like he was the fucking crash test dummy in Three Ninjas. Just getting light up every single time with these chops. Okada popped Okada with a stiff forearm. Then he set him up on a chair against the guardrail, but he misses the charge, and Okada hits a DDT on the floor. Okada comes in back inside and hits some forearms before King starts responding with some hard chops once again. A corner charge from King missed, so Okada is able to get him up for a big power slam, but he took too long to go to the top rope for the elbow drop, so King cut him off. He hits another big chop and then hits a big superplex off the top rope. King was able to string together some offense. He hits a big elbow suicida to the outside. Okada grabs the Continental title, but King easily got it away, sets him up against the steel chair, and this time he hits the running crossbody against the barricade. Running senton back inside gets him a near fall. Then they start trading some strikes. Okada misses his drop kick, leading to King taking his head off with a big old lariat. King wanted a power driver, but Okada was able to lift him up for an impressive air raid crash knee breaker. Or neck breaker, and then he followed up finally with the top rope elbow drop. He does the Rainmaker flip off pose, and then King dodges the Rainmaker though, and it hits a running corner Death Valley driver. He then follows it up with a big cannonball in the corner. King wanted a power driver on the apron, but Okada got a back body drop and followed with a shotgun drop kick against the barricade. Okada tossed a chair into the ring and took it, but he basically uses it as a diversion and then hits King with the Continental title, but he's only able to get a 2 count. He's shocked by that. King then reverses a Rainmaker and hits a big old lariat of his own. He then tries for the Gonzo bomb, but Okada's able to get out of it. But King responds with a big gnarly headbutt and then a corner splash. Okada fired off when he tries for the cannonball again and hits his signature drop kick. And then he follows up, finishes him off with the Rainmaker. 1, 2, 3. Okada retains the Continental Championship. And what I thought was a good, hard-hitting matchup here. I give it 3 3.75 stars. What did you think about this one? I think you're muted.
I'm trying to look at my rating here. Oh, 3.5. That's not bad. You are up on everything though. Jesus. Good match.
I think I had it at 3. Wait, let me double check my rating. I'll double check it. I think I already put down my ratings for the show. Yeah, no, I did. I'm actually right there with you. I did give it 3.5.
Nice. We'll kind of put in some work, but you know what? He's not gonna go nuts. He probably knows what's coming. Why work hard if it's gonna get overshadowed anyway? Or what? Just hang out a little bit. Do enough to make sure it's respectable, and then we go home.
This was about a 7 on the Okada give a fuck scale.
You know what? 7 for the time allotted? Yeah, I would say so. I thought Brody was great, as per always. He's never going to get pushed because we talk about the complexion for the protection. He is the wrong size for this fucking place. Poor bastard. But 3 3/4. Oh, naked boy, we were so close. God damn it. Oh, we're not so close. We're not halfway through the fucking show. You already fucked it up. Yeah, this was good. This was good enough. I thought it made everybody look strong enough. As strong as Brody's going to look. Losing clean to Okada, it could be worse. I have my concerns about his future here, though, if I can be honest for a second.
Who, Okada?
Bro, no, Okada's going to be fine. That contract he's got, he'll be fucking fine. He can fucking take a shit in the middle of the ring. He'll be fucking fine. Brody, I don't see it.
Yeah. I'm hoping that there's something for him because I really feel like, especially because we're about to talk about the tag team titles, like the Hounds of Hell are the only team that I could see that it makes sense for them to beat the Hurt Syndicate. Because if it's anyone else, if it's FTR or if it's the Young Bucks, we're just going back in circles.
Yeah. You can make a team if you have them beat the Hurt Syndicate. Though I will say this, I know we're about to get to it. I don't think I will get to it. I'll be nice. I don't want to say anything reckless just yet. We'll get to it.
We got another super chat donation, this time from our good brother Will Chisholm. Thank you so much, Will, for the support. He says, crazy how the group been losing since Malachi has left, LOL. And Tiny going to bring in Shinsuke thing. Tony, I guess he meant Tony, going to bring in Shinsuke thing. He's 2000, thinking that he's 2014 Shinsuke, LOL, versus Okada, LOL. I hope he's not dumb enough. Shinsuke needs to go to Japan. He just needs to go back to Japan to finish off his career.
Shinsuke needs to go home. Sir, you had a fantastic career. It's over. You had a fantastic. It's done. At a certain point, isn't it just done? Why do you have to go till the wheels fall off? Both of them. One has already fallen off. Isn't it time to stop? No.
Shinsuke started off with Hiroshi Tanahashi, who has no knees, but still can put on great matches.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his issue is. Outside of giving a fuck. Just let it go. Let it go. It's fun. I'm sure you've made enough fucking money. Oh, man.
It's like he's like a mixture of Tanahashi and Okada, where he's old like Tanahashi, that he's not in his prime, but he also has that Okada giving a fuck thing going on, where if he doesn't give a fuck, it's not good at all.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you're not good enough anymore to not give a fuck. All right. You need to give a fuck a lot. It ain't working.
Yeah, and the reason that was brought up to give more background to anyone who doesn't know, it was reported by Wade Keller on PW Torch, reviewing Friday Night SmackDown this week with LA Knight defeating Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah. He reported that the original idea was to do Nakamura versus Knight at WrestleMania until it was pushed up, and now WWE, the sources, Wade Keller's sources in WWE are indicating that they don't plan on renewing Shinsuke's contract, and probably he'll be another release from the company.
First of all, Triple H, if you're watching, I know that you are. What the fuck? Why did you think Knight versus Shinsuke was the... Even if Shinsuke was Shinsuke, that's... You're going to hold that off till Mania? You out of your fucking mind? Anyway, I think it's for the best. Listen, you gave it a shot, did you not? You took the belt of LA Knight for no good fucking reason because you love Shinsuke. You had Shinsuke do his run. It stunk. You just acted like nothing happened. But back on Knight and let him go. Let's move on. It's fine. It's fine.
This is a good question from Chase. He says someone in our watch along asked if he felt Shinsuke Nakamura WWE career was a fumble. You guys think it is? I think it's a series of fumbles. I think like they fumble it from the beginning when they have him lose to Jinder Mahal as WWE champion in his first 6 months on the main roster. Then they picked up the ball by having him win the Royal Rumble. And then they fumbled it again by booking the AJ Styles feud the way that they did. And they never recovered it from there.
Power drive finisher. That's not. I didn't want to say that. I did not want to say that because you know they love the Japanese guys. They watch all those fucking Japan matches. You know they love them. I'm just gonna say this. Outside of the Sami Zayn match, is that his first match in NXT?
Yeah.
Jesus. Outside of the Sami Zayn match, he didn't do one thing I liked in WWE. Not.
You didn't like the John Cena match when he dropped Cena on the back of his head?
Jesus. Almost killed the franchise. Good job. Not one. I'm sorry. Not one.
I love his Rumble win. I love his Rumble win. The Rumble win, that's one of the best Royal Rumbles ever.
Well, that's true. I'm not giving credit for that Royal Rumble. After 29 the fuck people in there.
Hey, he won it. He won it. He won it.
Jesus. I'm sorry. He's to me, from what I saw of his United States career, he had the career I thought he should have had.
Yeah. I mean, I think that he had great charisma. He had great presence. He had a great character. I think even during his NXT run, he had all those things, and he could deliver a good to great matchup with the right person. He had good to great matchups with Finn Balor and Samoa Joe during his NXT run, but yeah, I feel like the main roster was never the place for him. He probably should have been like an NXT lifer for the duration of his time in WWE.
Yeah, sure. I don't want to be rude. I know people watching. If they came for an AEW pay-per-view, I know they're a fan of fucking 2014 and before Shinsuke. So I don't want to be rude. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't go to the AEW. He needs to go back to New Japan or probably to Noah, something like that.
How old is he? He's gotta be old as fuck.
Yeah, he's in his 40s. He's in his mid 40s, I think, at that. Myron Kidd says the feud with Seth Rollins officially cooked Nakamura, and they had a great match. The last man standing match at Fastlane 2023 was great. That's his last great match, though.
Yeah, I kind of felt like once you lose that match, though, it's kind of it's over.
Yeah, because that feud was literally it felt like that was the closest he's ever got to winning a world title, even more than the AJ rivalry. That felt like that was the closest he ever got to winning the world title, because they really did a good job of like playing off of Seth's injuries where it would have made sense for him to lose.
Yeah, I thought that's where we were going with this. He just didn't. That feud kind of stunk to begin with. He was offered a rematch. They didn't want it. Why'd you attack him after? What are we doing? 45. You're not Ric Flair. Time to hang it up. Sorry.
Next up, we got the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin with MVP versus the Outrunners. Nigel McGuinness said that if the Outrunners win the titles tonight, he'll do commentary on Collision next week in his underwear. Which Tony Schiavone said now he doesn't want new champs. Action Andretti and Leo Rush were shown watching from ringside as Magnum and Benjamin started off. Shelton was no-selling some of the early offense until Turbo Floyd came in and decked Benjamin with the right hand. Shelton avoided a roll-up and missed a blind tag and was clotheslined to the floor. Lashley got his grips on Floyd, but Magnum sent him crashing off of the apron, forcing MVP to regroup with his team, saying that they making you look silly. This fired up Benjamin and Lashley, who just came in and started wrecking shop. Magnum was repeatedly sent between the barricades to the edge of the ring by Shelton. Shelton was just having his way, hitting a series of German suplex. Magnum tried a float over, but was caught and driven down with a Lashley power slam for only a 2 count. McGinnis jokes about asking if Magnum was named after a condom, and Magnum didn't know what that was. Hot tag to Turbo Floyd, who dodged a knee lift from Shelton and hit a power slam. Lashley was clocked by Magnum as they did the double Predator elbow drop that got a pop from the crowd, but then they posed and started getting booed again. Lashley recovered and steamrolled both of them. Lashley tried a suplex on the steps, but Magnum sent him crashing into the steel steps. Benjamin fired off some right hands, but Floyd started firing up, no selling, and backing him down. Floyd tried a top rope arm drag, which looked not so good. Benjamin popped up and decked Floyd with a right hand. Lashley was back in, and this is when the Hurt Syndicate starts destroying these guys. You get Lashley with a spine buster, Benjamin with a pop-up knee, spear by Lashley, and then they repeat the sequence to Turbo Floyd, pop-up knee, and then the spear. 1, 2, 3 by Shelton Benjamin. The Hurt Syndicate pick up the victory here in just over 8 minutes. This was about 3 to 4 minutes too long. You cut half of this, and this is a perfect amount of time. But this is objectively, the main event came off worse. But objectively, this is the worst match on the show.
Indeed.
1 star.
I'm never higher than you are. I am significantly higher. Well, not significantly. I gave it 1.5. This was ass. I'm sorry. And it made me realize the Hurt Syndicate ain't bulletproof as an act. They're worse to watch to me after this match. I look at them as lesser than I did coming in. It's just a bad idea all around. Outrunners are baby faces, Hurt Syndicate are heels, but the fans are gonna cheer them over the fucking Outrunners, apparently.
Outrunners got booed when they started posing. They got booed.
This is not a good idea. It should have been what's his face, the Murder Machines, which we all thought was going to happen. Then we made this shift at the last minute. I have no idea why. It should have been a squash.
Yeah,
3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever, in and out.
And it's also the fact that you're fucking like 4 months too late on the Outrunners.
Yeah, they're not at the peak of their popularity anymore. It's a shame.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense to do this match here, especially against the Hurt Syndicate. Like, I think it was Joe Pearl over on Fightful Overbooked, or maybe it was Jeremy. Like, this was a bad idea because you have two teams that the crowd want to cheer for, so they're gonna choose one over the other, and the Hurt Syndicate are just way too cooler than the Outrunners.
Yeah, very true. I think this match should be. I like the open. I would give the Outrunners a little more offense in the first 2 minutes. The MVP gives them their speech, and then we squash.
Yeah, it should have been as soon as MVP gives them that speech. It should have been they just destroy and go right to the finishing sequence.
Please and thank you, because what the fuck? 8 minutes.
What do you think is next for the tag team division now?
I assume the Murder Machine's up next. When's the next pay-per-view? Dynasty. Like, when's the date?
Beginning of April.
Do I want to wait that long? I might do it in 2 weeks. I might do the Murder Machine in 2 weeks. We have another.
Yeah, it sounds like a Dynamite match now.
Yeah, like ill. Please and thank you. I'm over it.
The Young Bucks are on their way back, apparently, according to Fightful Select.
Are they?
Yep.
As baby faces? I would imagine.
Uh-huh.
As a tag team? I have so many questions. They got to come back with Perry?
I hope not.
I love that. You see how quickly they jumped off the bandwagon? Now that they destroyed their company, they jumped off the bandwagon. Good job. Talking about avoid the iceberg after we hit it. Good job. Thank you.
I'm just saying, this match didn't belong on this show. This probably I probably would have rated this higher if it's on Collision, not the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I like the spot. I like the spot for it actually. It's just too long.
Yeah,
not worthy of pay-per-view at all.
Not at all. But what was worthy of pay-per-view and probably worthy of the main event spot? It's time for Timeless Toni Storm with Luther versus Mariah May in the Hollywood ending for the AEW Women's World Championship.
What?
The Hollywood ending.
The ending. Okay.
It's like you literally called this something that it wasn't. Should have been the Hollywood ending of the show. Jim Ross joins on commentary, and this is why I like Jim Ross picking his spots, because I thought that Jim Ross added so much to the commentary for this matchup here. You get the video package that was just so well done, documenting the whole journey that they've been on, where they splice in kind of the crazy Mariah promo, which is like, it's all your fault. I'm your greatest co-star. And then the Toni promo, where she's like, I'm gonna leave you in a life of obscurity. You'll be liked but never loved. And then Jim Ross joins the commentary. We see the setup on the stage has a picture of May turning on Storm after winning the Owen Hart Cup last year. You see the Hollywood ending big table design at the top of the ramp. May comes out with a white veil, looking like she's going to her wedding, but this is gonna be a red wedding. We get Timeless Toni Storm comes out with the face paint, with the war paint on, like Bette Davis. She comes out. And immediately Mariah May runs up and they start brawling right from the get-go, and the crowd is on their feet immediately. May spits at Luther for good measure, and a hard slap from May, who wanted a suplex off of the stage, but Storm was trying to backdrop her off. So May instead hits a DDT on the stage for a near fall. May grabs some flowers that has a taser in them, and then Luther tries to take it away from her, so May drop kicks her and launches Luther over a table setup. This allows for Storm to grab her and do a Baldo bomb sky high off the stage through a production table on the floor for a 2 count. They went to ringside, where May tried to scurry away, but Storm swept the leg and she crotched her right on the barricade, doomed her womb, as Nigel puts it. You got Nigel and JR on the commentary. I was like, this is the best commentary of the fucking night. She then follows up with a draping DDT to the floor. Storm wants to hit the Storm Zero onto the steel steps, but May is able to get away. She wants the hip attack against the barricade, but May moves out the way, so Storm runs into the steel guardrail. May follows up by hitting a vicious Storm Zero onto the steel steps, busting Toni Storm open in the process. May then tosses chains and chairs into the ring and starts rubbing her veil in the bloody face of Toni. In the ring, Storm was trapped in the Tree of Woe, which allowed for Mariah to put the steel chair against her face, and she hits the running sweet cheek music for a 2 count. Storm was able to reverse a German suplex into one of her own, sending May to the floor, as both ladies go to under the ring and they grab fucking buckets that have broken champagne bottle shards in them. They have tape as well, and they start taping their fists, and we get a fucking mid-match tepai death match with fucking glass hands, and they're throwing punches. Storm gets the better of this as she punches May right in the mouth, busting her open. May comes up and she's leaking. Storm pours the glass all over the ring before jamming a piece of the bottle into the forehead of Mariah, busting her open even more. Storm went for a big kick, but May was able to smash a bottle between her legs to a wild reaction from the crowd. I was like, right to the womb, right to the fucking womb. They fight up to the ropes, where May bites Toni's head, her bloody head, and then hits the stratosphere head scissors and drops her right back first into the glass. She then picks her up and does a Mayday right into the glass, and we get this incredible overhead shot of a bloody Toni Storm who looks like a murder victim. This is one of the best shots AEW's ever done, because Toni has the blood in her hair, looking like Ric Flair at WrestleMania 8. That popped me. I was like, let's go. This is great. May tried pulling Storm up, but was met with a snap Storm Zero onto a steel chair, which only gets her a 2. They went to the outside to unveil a bloody shoe. It's the same shoe that May used against Toni all those months ago. May starts running away. She crawls up the ramp to try to get her hands on the AEW Women's World title, but Toni catches her and stomps her face into the belt, and then she starts whipping her with the belt like May has done a few times to her in the past. And I love Jim Ross was like, "Oh, I get to bust out one of my favorites." She was like, "She's whooping her like a scolded dog." I was like, let's go. Storm then grabs the shoe. She briefly has pity because she still has some love left for May, which allows Mariah to hit the Mayday right on the stage for a near fall. And you get this great shot of Mariah with the blood caking up on her face. The crowd is absolutely on fire at this point. This is awesome chants. Holy shit chants. Both women go up above the table. They have now a stand built up as Mariah grabs the shoe, and she looks like she's about to finish her off as they stand above the table that reads Hollywood Ending. Storm is able to block Mariah by hitting a big headbutt to the jaw. Then she grabs the shoe and she starts stabbing Mariah right in the head with the shoe, like Mariah did to her when she turned on her after winning the Owen Hart Cup. She then lifts her up, gives her a Storm Zero right through the Hollywood Ending table to give us the grand finale for one of the greatest women's matches I've ever seen. 1, 2, 3. Timeless Toni Storm defeats Mariah May to retain the AEW Women's World Championship in an absolutely amazing, violent war. And then you get the cherry on top with a post-match where the screen top says "The End." It's like, oh my God, why did this main event? Why did this main event? This was cinema. This was a story of love. This was a story of hatred, a story of betrayal. It had so much drama. Me going into this matchup, I had no belief of Mariah May winning, but her hitting the Mayday into the glass, her hitting the Mayday on the ramp had me believing, oh, maybe she could win. Maybe they'll take it back. Yo, they had me on the edge of my seat. This is the most violent, bloody war I have ever seen from a North American women's match in my lifetime. This is one of the greatest matches, not just women's matches, in AEW history, because it's a culmination of an 18-month storyline, and these two women went out there for nearly 13 minutes and just put it all on the line with set pieces, with drama, with emotion. 5 stars. 5 stars. What did you think?
I usually don't give out the 5. 5. That was 5. That is the second best women's match I've ever seen in my life outside of Banks and Bailey.
Yeah.
Really different kind of match. It was fast-paced. It was impossibly violent. I think Toni thinks she went too deep on that cut. Because then when she looks at her head, she kind of does this thing, I fucked up.
It made the match. It made the match. Her walking, that is one of the greatest Crimson Masses. That, like, I had to compare it to Ric Flair. Ric Flair is like the greatest Crimson Mass wrestler ever. This was up there.
That's fucking up there. I love every bit of this. Every bit of this? Yeah, even the more ridiculous parts with them both grabbing buckets at the same time, which is fucking silly. But still, it mostly worked. Once somebody gets punched in the box, all sins are forgiven. That's how that works. And it works for me big time. This, I won't spoil the match of the night. This is one of the contenders, we'll say. Do we have to say it should have main evented again? Well, after we've all said it 100 times.
We got to echo it. It needs to be said. Look at these shots. Look at this. Look at this. Come on.
God.
This is cinema.
Fucking beautiful. How could you not even, whatever. How could you fuck this up? I don't understand. It's a goddamn shame. It's not like you had The Rock showing up at the main event. It's Moxley and Edge. Who gives a fuck? This shit go on last. What are we doing? Whatever. All right, whatever. 5. Fantastic. I think it redeemed the back half of this feud for me.
Yeah.
All this is worthy. Fantastic.
Yeah, the middle of the feud with Mariah's title reign wasn't the best, but god damn, if this is how you finish, you could forgive that. You could forgive that with how you finish. Oh my god, never seen anything like that from two women, especially in North America. I've seen some violent Japanese women matches, but nothing like this in North America.
That was jarring. I know Mariah was a thug from her time abroad, but this is more than I thought. Good Lord.
Nikki Boy says, my anxiety was at an all-time high for this match.
Oh, before I forget, I almost forgot because you're doing quotes. I don't want you to miss it. Frantic World said the World Tag Team title match was good. Tell me what good means, sir. I want to hear what good means. I want a number grade. I want a letter grade. I want a star grade. I want to know what good means. Spit it out with that tag team title match got. Now, this was great. This is all time great. This is fine. And yes, JR was brilliant, as per usual.
He felt like he was calling something from the Attitude Era.
Right? God damn. I gotta be honest. I really feel bad for Toni. I think this would have put her, if it main evented, this is like a feather in the cap. This is something different. It's a level above. It's like Becky and them main event WrestleMania. It's only one time for the first time ever, and Toni Mariah earned the fucking spot to be the first time ever, and they didn't get it. And it's not like they fucked anything up. It's the best it could possibly be. It's better than the main event on this fucking card. The story's better than the main event on this fucking card. Why are we not the main event outside of vaginas? I don't understand. Good Lord.
Unbelievable mistake. Like, why? Why did you think this was a good idea to not close with this? If they're gonna have a fucking glass fist fight during the matchup, how is Moxley and Co plotting for fucking 25, 26, 27 minutes the same thing?
What the fuck? I don't understand. That's never gonna be her resume now. It's a goddamn shame. She deserves it. Right, too. But like, Tony's the bigger star.
Yeah, man. This raised the bar though. Like, Frantic World is right with this, saying AEW women's hardcore matches are the best. They always are delivered big time, but this raised the bar.
Yeah, this is all time for me. This and like it's easily the best women's match in AEW history to me. Easily. Yes.
I've gone like 4 3/4 on some women's matches in the past. Britt and Rosa being the most notable of them, and I said that's up there for me with the greatest like women's matches I've seen. But I agree with you what you said earlier. Outside of Bayley and Sasha, because I was there, we were there for that, so that's a different type of feeling. But as far as like sitting at home watching, this is the best women's match I ever seen. Like watching on TV.
So good. So good. I wonder who aged in this match.
Yo, whoever did, man, they deserve a raise. Even if they did agent also Mox and Cope, they get to keep their job. whipping her like a government mule. I was like, yes,
crazy.
And this was another thing. What I said earlier about Swerve and Ricochet. What I said earlier about MJF and Hangman. The build dictated how this match was going to go down. It was Toni turning everything that Mariah did against her and turning it back on her, stabbing her in the head with the shoe, whipping her with the belt. It was just, oh man, it paid off. The storytelling, the violence, it paid off this 18-month storyline.
Even the empathy she shows, which costs her again.
Yes.
Fucking great.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Joel Jimenez says, I need to rewatch this with the commentary, but the crowd was on fire for this match. I rewatched it literally right before we went live. I was like, I got 15 minutes. Let me go and pick this. And because it's 13 minutes long. Like, it's the perfect length too. Like, it's just all action, all thriller, no filler.
3 stars. This nigga's out of his mind. All right. We're not doing this. I'm not gonna have you bring me down for how good this match was. We're talking about something else. Focus on this now. Thank you for responding. I appreciate it, Frantic World.
didn't even got that far. Sabet says Toni Storm versus Mariah was cinema. We got 5 stars galore. People get going as far as 7 stars and 6 3/4 stars.
Stop, don't do this to me. I'm not gonna have you bring me down. I'm not gonna have it. Usa.
And we got Christopher gives it 5 stars. Greg Carter, I got to give you credit because you was like they could have a match of the year candidate. You did say it. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, it might depend on where it goes in the card. And I was like, if it main event, then yeah, they can deliver. But you were absolutely right. I didn't believe you, but yeah, they delivered the greatest women's match in AEW history. Amazing, just an amazing match. Amazing, I agree. Chilling with Chase says amazing stuff from these 2 women. King Potato says Toni and Mariah cut way too deep. My fucking yes, they did. They didn't fix it.
Rewatch that whenever you guys get a chance. Rewatch Toni's face when she gets close up. She goes, "Yeah, I'm about to be dizzy in 5 minutes." Yeah.
And the crazy part is that Mariah does the same thing. Mariah's like trying to wipe the blood out of her eyes after she hits the Mayday on the glass. She's like, I can't even fucking see. Oh my god. Oh man, Dion says one of the greatest stories in women's wrestling. Yeah. Joel says this is cinema. King Potate says story of the year. We got some more cinema in the chat. It seems like everyone's in agreement. This is amazing. This is one of those matches that you will never forget. We got Nikki Boy says, does this fall under booking malpractice? Yes. It's the most obvious thing to headline the show, and then it delivered that, and then you didn't do it.
Yeah, it's like yeah, yes, agreed completely. It's like it's agreed on like a couple levels. It's like not only should this have main evented, what main evented shouldn't even been in the top 3. What are we doing?
Like what main evented is not even in my like top 6 matches on this 9-match card.
What a terrible idea.
Power Driver Finisher says 5-star for me. Women's match. We got a Big Man Dog says Toni gave Toni versus Mariah 3 1/4. Yo, if Dave goes anything below 4 3/4, that like just everyone needs to revoke their Wrestling Observer newsletter subscription because this is ridiculous.
I don't go, but I'm guessing 4.5. I'm guessing 4.5. That's my guess off the top. 4.5. It was too short. The blood was distracting, and the taser didn't make a reappearance.
He's like, I really wanted the taser spot. That's what I
really can't show it. Did not do anything with it. Fuck. I'm telling you right now. Oh.
That's his fucking logic. And to follow that, what did they say? They put up the graphic for Kenny Omega challenging Konosuke Takeshita for the AEW International Championship. Don Callis joins the commentary team as Excalibur mentioned how influential wrestlers like Kenny Omega and El Generico were on Takeshita growing up. Omega started hot, but was immediately cut off with a massive Takeshita line. I love how Takeshita fucking just runs through a Kenny Omega chop and just ran through both sides. Omega answered with a suplex and a corner splash, leading to a slingshot splash to the outside. Takeshita slammed Omega into the apron and the barricade as Don Callis got some cheap shots. Don Callis was the perfect heel manager in this fucking matchup. When he starts punching Kenny Omega and then goes back to the announce table, starts selling his hand, I was like, you are such a perfect dickhead. You're such a perfect dickhead. Takeshita remained in control. Omega tried a crossbody off the top rope, but no water in the pool as Takeshita zoned in on his abdomen. And this matchup played out. It's exactly as you would expect, with Omega's abdomen and his intestines being the focus of Takeshita's assault. Takeshita sets up a table at ringside. He looks for a Blue Thunder Bomb off the apron, but Omega answers with a running facepalm slam against the apron. He wants the "You Can't Escape" on the floor, but when he goes for the moonsault off the barricade, Takeshita launches him off right into the barricade. He goes rib first. Takeshita kept Omega grounded inside, but Omega clapped the ears and suddenly hit a crossbody for the second go around. Firing off some strikes, he finally connects with the "You Can't Escape," but Omega clutches his midsection afterwards. Omega snaps off a Hurricane, sending Takeshita to the floor, allowing Omega to signal for the Terminator dive, but Don Callis gets involved again, tripping the legs. The distraction allowed Takeshita to run in for a clothesline over to the top, and then a release German suplex where he landed Omega once again right on his ribs. Takeshita flips the table and does a front face suplex onto it. Omega selling in this matchup was absolutely superb. You felt it. You were like, you felt it the way he was selling everything. Takeshita starts hitting multiple sentons in the ring. Paul Turner checks on Omega, and the delay allows Takeshita to try another, but Omega gets his knees up. Takeshita tries another senton off the top rope, but he misses. Omega fires up. He dodges a Takeshita line, hits a Snapdragon suplex. As he went for it again, Takeshita escapes and fakes a punch and then punches him right in the ribs. Takeshita then went for a charge, but Omega fires off a V-trigger flush for a near fall. Omega then signals for another, but Takeshita counters into a Blue Thunder Bomb. Beautiful looking one where he over-rotates him. Only gets a 2 count. Haluva kick in the corner. Then he wants the Avalanche Blue Thunder Bomb, but Omega tries to fight back. He fights him off. He hits a beautiful looking springboard sunset flip power bomb for a 2 count. Omega does a V trigger to the head, but Omega doesn't have the strength for the One Ring Angel as he sells the ribs again. Takeshita nearly got one of his own, but they traded tombstone attempts with Takeshita hitting one. He held on and hits the Bastard Driver for a near fall. Takeshita hits the power driver knee, but Omega kicks out at 2. So he hits another one with more speed and more hard hitting. And Omega kicks out at 1, and the crowd explodes. This is one of the biggest pops of the entire night. Omega kicking out at the 1 count is unlike anyone in wrestling. No one gets a reaction for the kick out at 1, quite like Kenny Omega. Takeshita then hits the world-class forearm, but he misses the Raging Fire. Omega hits a ripcord knee and then a stuck power driver, the Cactus Driver, for a near fall. Repeated pump knees by Omega as Takeshita dared Omega to hit another one. He blocks a shot with a home run forearm. Omega was there with a V trigger. Then he hits a Poison Rana. At this point, Callis knows that Takeshita's in trouble as Omega hits a very hard-hitting V trigger against the ropes. He then tries for the One Ring Angel once again, but we get a tug of war with Don Callis trying to hold on to Takeshita to avoid it. But Omega wins the tug of war. The delay allows Omega and Takeshita to try to hit their finishers. You get Omega trying for the One Ring Angel, but Takeshita reverses. He tries for the Raging Fire, but Omega reverses that. Omega gets a crucifix pin for a 2 count, then rolls up into a tighter crucifix flash pin. 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega is your new international championship, and what I thought was a fantastic bout. This was the right bout to have after that Hollywood ending, as the opening portion was mostly a filling out process, Takeshita being better athletically than Omega, then focusing on the rib cage and dissecting him with the rib cage throughout until Omega was just the better wrestler, the smarter wrestler at the end, pulling out the 1, 2, 3. In this one, it went 28 minutes, but it did not feel like that at all. Great matchup. I gave this one 4 3/4 stars. What a follow-up to a 5-star match. What did you think?
Same. 4 3/4. And as great as Takeshita is, and as great as Omega is, Don Callis might be the MVP of this thing for me. I'm like, he's the best fucking commentator on there. He would stop and interfere, and it was fucking great every time. Even when he couldn't get his shit in, because Omega had eyes on him. He's just fucking great. Omega and Takeshita do have tremendous chemistry. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're both just great. Maybe they don't need chemistry being that fucking good. But it's fun to watch. Table spot, obviously, heinous. I hope he's all right. I assume he's all right. It's just, forget intestines. It's just a rough spot. It looks awful.
Yeah.
Only thing I didn't love was the finish. Now it did look a little sloppy to me. I just don't like that as a finish. But hey, it protects Takeshita. So you know what? I'll allow it. 4 3/4.
I think that's why I'm fine with it, because I was like, I mean, Takeshita didn't get the One Wing Angel. Now they're 1-1 in singles competition, so there's room for a third matchup because we need a decisive, like, who's better between these two.
I'm down. If we keep Takeshita active, what a waste of his fucking title reign. I was watching, like, I forgot this motherfucker is amazing. Holy shit. Where have you been? Japan.
Oh man. We got Darius who says, not gonna lie, I did cringe for that front table suplex. Oh.
Oof. Look, the first part was dope too, where he lands on like that thing that connects the table to the pipe. I was like, ow. Oh, that hurt.
I was like, God damn. Yeah. And Louis, yeah, good point. Yeah, like I said, it's perfectly paced. Like it needed to be that long and have that filling out process and the selling by Omega until you hit like the 14-15 minute mark, and then Omega makes his comeback, and then they just go off for the final 10 minutes.
It's fucking great. I didn't think you followed that fucking match, but they did.
They did. This was very much Willow Statlander following Ospreay Pac type status.
Check you out, yeah.
No. Joel says Takeshita needs to win all the belts. Yeah, I'm hoping for the best for Takeshita after this title reign. Like, I thought it was a great title reign because I got to watch all of it because I watch everything. But I understand for the people who are just strictly watch AEW, they could have done more for sure.
Yeah, like have him on TV. Just a thought.
Just a thought, you know, just a thought. But we got Nikki Boy. He says 4 3/4 for me. The All Out match just edges this one out for me. Yeah, the All Out match is a different type of match, but Kenny Omega is a different type of wrestler now that he's back from his return, where he's trying to tell more of a story surrounding the intestines and the diverticulitis. And that seems to be like the centerpiece of his great matches this year. The Gabe Kidd match, which is still probably my match of the year, and then this match here.
That'd be nice. Lord, that match is so fucking overrated. Anyway, let's not about that. Let's talk about this. Props to Don Callis, by the way, speaking of his fantastic commentary, where he tried to explain that while the physical injury is bad, the psychological damage done to Kenny Omega is even worse. And then, of course, Taz undercuts him. Oh, you're a doctor now? Fuck this motherfucker. Don Callis is doing fucking Shakespeare over here, and these cocksuckers are shitting all over it. Good Lord.
Callis was the best commentator in this matchup, that's for sure. Yeah. No JR, no Nigel, just Callis. Yeah. Yeah. And Don was going to be back because next up was the steel cage matchup. Will Ospreay going 1-on-1 with Kyle Fletcher. Fletcher scales the cage as he makes his entrance and stood at top waiting for Ospreay to make his entrance. We get a new kind of superstar level entrance for Ospreay as he get like a little flashy light show on another level intro, dubstep shit who plays before his actual theme song hits. Both men stared each other down from across the cage in a great visual before they slowly climbed down and the bell rang for this opening for this steel cage matchup. They held nothing back with a quick start to this one, but I loved Ospreay's psychology early on, where he basically told you without telling you, I can't work the same style in the steel cage. He tries for a springboard or early on, and he's not able to do it because he has no room on the apron. Then he tries a headstand, and he immediately hits the cage hard, hurting his ankle, and he's clutching his ankle as Fletcher attacks him. Stun Dog Millionaire response from Ospreay, who wanted an Os cutter, but it was caught and darted into the steel cage where he's busted open also immediately. Fletcher drove Ospreay's head into the cage before licking the blood off. And I love the little detail Callis put in on commentary before the match started, where he said that Fletcher is wearing the same kick pads that he wore during the last match against Ospreay because he didn't get enough blood on it. I was like, yo, Callis, you're absolutely right what you said earlier. Callis is playing like 3D chess while these motherfuckers are playing checkers. Like, he's just great at this. Ospreay answered quickly, scaling the ropes off a whip attempt and hits a flying forearm before hitting a standing sky twister plus. We get Ospreay firing off some hard chops that Fletcher's chest is starting to bleed as he signals for the hidden blade, but Fletcher caught him with a big boot and a half and half suplex for the reset. Fletcher ripped away a buckle pad, but Ospreay dodged, having his head rammed into it, but not his back. Fletcher sent him in and then hit a charging boot before he went to the top rope brainbuster on the exposed steel, but Ospreay was able to escape. He wedges his head against the exposed turnbuckle and hits the cheeky Nando's kick against the exposed turnbuckle and launches, catapults Fletcher into the steel cage. Now is busted open. Ospreay is all hyped up at that as he takes too long though climbing the ropes and gets crotched down. Both fought on the top rope when Ospreay drove Fletcher repeatedly into the corner of the cage. We get the leap or flay from Ospreay for a near fall. Fletcher avoided a Stormbreaker and then crotched Ospreay in the ropes before hitting a massive Liger bomb. That shit, he landed high on the back of his neck. Both men were exhausted at this point as Fletcher starts firing off Kawada kicks, but he's too busy trying to lick the blood off of his hand as he wipes it onto his kick pads and then wipes it on and starts licking it. So Ospreay rises to his feet to a big pop. He starts hitting Kawada kick. They start trading Kawada kicks as Ospreay's licking his hand now. Then Ospreay tries for a hidden blade, but Fletcher hits him flush with the thrust kick. Wild series of counters leads to Fletcher winning another Tiger Bomb, but Ospreay reverses that into a snap DDT. Fletcher spun out of the Stormbreaker and spiked Ospreay with the Brainbuster, but he's only able to get it 2. At this point, Mark Davis makes his way down to the ring. He has a bag on him. He has bolt cutters in the bag, and he cuts the lock, opening the door where he shoves the bag inside. Ospreay pulled the door shut and then drop kicks the door into Davis's face. The bag Davis brought in also had a barbed wire bat in it as Ospreay wound up and levels Fletcher right in the ribs and on the back. He then rakes the barbed wire bat across his face. Ospreay has a great moment where he looks into the camera and he does the bang bang for Cactus Jack. Fletcher begs him off. He even tries to do a little bit of storytelling as he pulls out the United Empire armband that he ripped off of Ospreay on Dynamite and held it up and then does the United Empire symbol. Ospreay flips him off and goes for a home run shot with the barbed wire bat, but Fletcher dives in with a low blow. He wipes the blood from his face with the arm pad and then shoves it in Ospreay's mouth. Fletcher then gets the bat and he misses a wild shot, leading to Ospreay hitting the hidden blade. Ospreay tries for a Stormbreaker, but Davis comes in. He breaks it up. He's too bloody from the belt shot as he locks on a sleeper hold. Davis held up Fletcher, who screamed at Ospreay that he wanted this. Aussie Open wanted the Coriolis, but Ospreay is able to flip out of that, hits a poison runner on Fletcher, and then does the hidden blade into a steel chair onto Davis. That got Davis finally out of the ring, and they re-locked the cage. I was like, why didn't they re-lock the cage before Davis got in there? And then I realized that it's Rick Knox. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. Ospreay climbs the side of the cage and does a super Os cutter, only gets a near fall for that one. Ospreay then wraps the barbed wire around his arm, trying to go for the hidden blade, but Fletcher tries to escape by climbing the cage. Fletcher all of a sudden grabs a screwdriver from the top of the cage and jabs it into Ospreay's head before licking it. Ospreay is bleeding even more at this point as Fletcher hits him in the ribs with the screwdriver now, and he hits him in the head again. He tries to go for the head once again, but he gets stuck into the top turnbuckle. Ospreay ducked a corner shot, wanted a Styles clutch, but Fletcher wound up hitting a brainbuster. Fletcher sets up a chair similar to what he did to Ospreay on Dynamite, and he hits the brainbuster through it, but Ospreay somehow, some way kicks out. Fletcher goes back to the bag that Davis brought in, and he pours out thumbtacks on him. He wants a brainbuster, but Ospreay reverses it, and he Styles Clash into the thumbtacks, dick to the tacks. Oh my god. I was like, oh, this guy Sky Blue must be watching this and just shaking her head in horror. Somehow Fletcher is able to kick out of that. Fletcher escapes the hidden blade by scaling the top rope, top of the cage, with Ospreay chasing after him with a screwdriver in his mouth. They meet up on the top. They battle over the screwdriver until Ospreay connects with the screwdriver right to the head. He throws the screwdriver down out of the ring. It bounces up into the crowd, I think. They get in position, and the whole crowd is like hushed at this point as they are positioning for something crazy. They stand up on the top of the cage, and Ospreay does this ridiculous Spanish fly off the cage in an unbelievable moment. Callis has left commentary at this point in disbelief. Ospreay wound up. He finally gets to his feet as Fletcher is fucking almost dead. And he screams at him, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you. As Ospreay takes his head off with a hidden blade. He then picks up Fletcher. He hits this ridiculous looking Tiger Driver 91, the feud ender, the feud ender basically for Ospreay at this point, onto Fletcher on the top of the back of his head. 1, 2, 3. Will Ospreay wins this incredible steel cage matchup. This was so many things. Another one where I said the build up to the matchup dictated how we were going to get this. The screwdriver, the Davis involvement, everything culminated here. The Davis involvement stops it from me going plus, but I think this is a 5-star matchup. This was an unbelievable match with these two guys going balls to the wall and delivering something that these people in Los Angeles and us watching will probably never forget. I was just blown away by this one. This was awesome. What did you think?
We've mostly been on the same page up until this point. I think everybody here, all three of us, me, you, and a chat. 4, maybe 4.25. If I'm being nice about it. You said it was a lot of things. There's a lot of things. It's bloated. It's overindulgent. It's too much. I gotta be honest with you. You
had to go too much with after the Hollywood ending. You had to go this far. That's what I think.
That's not my fault. To go on first. This has nothing to do with me. This has nothing to do with me. I'm sorry. It's what's I'm looking for? It's performative. All the licking of the blood. It's I'm sorry. It's like the shitty version of the Toni Storm Ryman match. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. It's like the sequel. It's a sequel where you got to kill more people in it. You're a Scream fan. It's a sequel where you got to kill more people. We got it. Oh, it's super bloody. It's super violent. See? No. It was better the first time. Sorry. Listen, the Mark Davis stuff, I actually don't mind. When he comes out and interferes in the match, I actually don't mind that because we've already set the shit up. I'm good with that. Even 2 minutes into the Mark Davis interference, I'm fine with it. And then it just goes to another planet with the screwdrivers, and we're licking the screwdriver. Oh my God, what has Hangman started with this fucking blood shit? Enough. Good fucking Lord. Whatever. Yeah, it's a great match. But come on, man. It's not, to me, it's not on the same planet as the other two that preceded this.
5 stars. 5 stars. 5 stars. 2 5-star matches on this show for me. We got Alexander says that was a cool camera shot with both Ospreay and Fletcher standing on top of the cage before the matchup. I thought Callis added a lot to this matchup on commentary. Just him talking about the kick pads, him talking about Fletcher being better, and just totally trying to shit on Ospreay throughout this. He added a lot to the last 2 matches, the Takeshita match and the Fletcher match here. We got a super chat donation from our good brother I Make Beats. Let's give you a bumper for that one. Thank you so much, I Make Beats, for the
I'm
support.
not gonna sit back and take this fucking shit.
He simply says, "Bang bang."
All right, the barbed wire baseball bat that did nothing. That's how barbed wire works.
Hey, it made him more bloody.
Right, absolutely. That's how that works. Has anybody here ever touched fucking actual barbed wire? Oh, Jesus Christ. I know Tony kind of hasn't, but like, what about the rest of you? Have you all touched barbed wire before? It hurts and it cuts. That's how barbed wire works.
It does.
Don't swing it around like a
Chase is with you.
Sorry.
Chase is with you. He says, I like the match, but I personally prefer Takeshita versus Omega over this match. The high spots were great, though.
Yeah, fucking PWGS match. I'm with you. Oh, there you go.
I love when we can
appreciate it. Took you guys long enough.
See, there you go. So Dion says, self-indulgent is the right term to describe it. All of Will's matches always has something that takes me out of it. That trading kick spots look.
Oh, I forgot about that shit. That shit's terrible looking. Fletcher's got to work on his kicks if you're gonna do that fucking spot. He's missing by a fucking mile. It's fucking, and the camera angle is not helping. Lord.
Oh, we got Darius who says, I would have gave this match a perfect score if he did the Tiger Driver onto the tags. He had tags everywhere after that Styles Clash. That Styles Clash was ridiculous. It was like, it's in his dick at this point. That's outrageous. He's never going to have kids. This was the point of the show where Tony Schiavone is ringside with Ash Advison and Damaris Lewis and Kelly Berklin to talk about the Queen of the Ring movie. Lewis said one thing she learned about pro wrestlers is they learn they're gonna win. They're going to win before anyone else does. So thank you.
It's the worst thing you can say right now. That's
quick. What's the worst thing you can say before the main event of this show? After what they just saw.
Oh, that is perfect. You know all that shit you watch was just bullshit, right? Yeah. Fair enough. It was bullshit.
Oh, that was great. And then finally, this main event. Cope challenging Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship. The crowd actually got up for Cope's entrance, too. The LA crowd sang along to Cope's entrance, but not as in unison as the Australian crowd at Grand Slam. Jim Ross rejoined the commentary team as Jon Moxley walked out alone with the briefcase in hand. They started off the matchup. We get a slugfest between the two men, stiff forearms for about a minute straight until Cope escaped a power driver. Moxley sent him to the...
Was it a minute?
Yeah, it was a minute.
I skipped
a minute
it.
Yeah, a minute of forearms. Yeah, felt longer.
Absolutely skip.
Slugfest right out the gate. We get that. Then Moxley sent him to the floor, but Cope met him with a big baseball slide and a top rope dive to follow. They continued their brawl around ringside as Moxley shoved him back first into the ring post and then drove his shoulder into it as well. Moxley came over to Jim Ross and said that he saw the beginning of Cope's career. Tonight, he'll see the end of it. Nope. Moxley repeatedly slammed Cope's head against the barricade and then targeting the neck. That became like the focus of the matchup for him. He would try to go after Cope's neck, trying to end his career, and Cope would have hope spots and make his comeback. Cope managed an impaler at one point, and then we get a big superplex spot, which got a mild pop for a reset. We saw the Ops hook Samoa Joe and Shibata watching on from the luxury suite as Cope finally strung together some offense with a series of lariats and the Edge-O-Matic for a near fall. He sank in the grindhouse, but Moxley got a rope break. With Moxley on the apron, Cope hit a spear through the ropes to the outside. Moxley reversed a whip into the steel steps and told the cameraman he's going to break Cope's neck as he exposed the padding around ringside. Moxley wanted a power driver, but Cope hit a backdrop onto the exposed floor. Cope charged him for a spear, but he ate a boot and then a curb stomp onto the concrete. Cope escaped a bulldog choke back inside, but not a power driver for a 2 count. Bulldog choke was applied as Cope desperately fought for the ropes. Referee Bryce Andrew scolded Moxley for not breaking up in time and really got in his face. So Moxley went to grab a steel chair. Bryce took it from him. That allowed Cope to get a roll up. But Moxley sent Cope crashing into Bryce Andrew, taking him out, followed by dropping Cope with the paradigm shift. Moxley then grabbed two steel chairs and wanted a concerto, but Cope kicked up the chair into Moxley's face, and both men got to their feet, only to collide with a double clothesline for a double down. Wheeler Yuta then makes his way down to the ring and was left to make a decision, as he decides to, no one's surprised, to hit Cope with the Psycho knee. Yuta then grabs the briefcase, gives it to Moxley, as Switchblade Jay White then hits the ring and he takes out Yuta. White then grabs the briefcase. He swings for Moxley, but he waffles Cope instead before brawling with Yuta to the back. Moxley made a cover, but referee Bryce Renberg didn't recover in too much time, so Cope is able to get a kick out. Moxley again jaw-jacked with Bryce long enough for Cope to hit a spear for a close 2 count. Cope connected with the second spear and then a third spear as the crowd was finally getting into this damn thing. Bryce was about to make the count when someone pulls him from the outside wearing a hoodie. He lets down the hoodie and is revealed to be Christian Cage, who smacks Cope in the head with the contract case. As the referee is trying to ring the bell for a disqualification, Cage then signs the contract and gives it to him to make the match a triple threat. Cage then gets into the ring and hits a spear on Cope, only gets a 2 count. The crowd pops for that. Cage then connects with the kill switch, but then Moxley comes in before he can get the cover and locks on the Bulldog choke. What would have been the best finish is if Christian got his hand on Cope for the best near fall of this damn matchup, as he's in the Bulldog choke and he gets a hand on Cope. He gets a 1-2, and then Moxley takes him away. Moxley then sinks in the Bulldog choke more, and Christian passes out. Moxley retains the AEW World Championship, and this crowd in Los Angeles was pissed. Moxley slowly left through the crowd, but before he could fully recover, Prince Nana pulls up on him from the backstage area, and we're reminded who is next up for him as he's putting up the number 1 to signal that Swerve is number 1 contender. Security tries to separate Moxley from Prince Nana as we see Swerve is up in the stands, and he delivers a massive Swerve stomp onto the pile of security and Moxley. Strickland then promises he's going to be the next AEW World Championship, so the crowd can go home happy as they say this is his house. Whose house? Swerve's house, as Swerve stands tall to close the show. 2 stars. 2 stars. I can't believe they did this. 2 stars. I gave two 5-star matches for me, 4 3/4 for 1 in the middle, and then 2 stars to close the show.
Fucking heinous. I can't believe this. I can't believe we're here. Not just the performances, which were bad in and of themselves. Isn't Edge one of the guys who tried to convince John Cena to let the Nexus go over? Wasn't that him? Oh, well, and now here we are. Taking main events, we're ruining fucking big angles and not taking pins. This is crazy. Get Christian in here to take this fucking pin. Oh my god.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain.
Apparently so. He's usually one of the people most critical of Triple H. Him and Jericho. And now here we are. It's a goddamn shame.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, this is awful. The only person more awful than this is Moxley, who I didn't, you gotta be honest, I didn't really buy the Mox Hogan stuff at first when it started coming out a year or 2 ago. That he didn't want to lose to Punk. He wanted to do the win here and then he'll lose there. Apparently all that shit is true, because left to his own devices, he just does whatever the fuck he wants to do. This is heinous. I am sorry. All this is bad. Darby cannot come fast enough. He needs somebody to break his leg. Where's Jay White when you need him? Because what the fuck is this shit? I don't understand. First, it should be Mariah and Toni Storm, obviously. If you don't want to do that because they have vaginas, okay, whatever. I'm not here to argue with the boss. We can go with Omega and Takeshita. It's the biggest star in the company, or one of the two at the very least. Win the belt, big comeback. If you don't want to go with that, we can go with the steel cage match. That's a fucking spectacle in and of itself. This? For real? This one? Good Lord. I don't even kind of understand. Not to mention all the different variations of this we could do. Edge winning, Christian winning, anything except this horse shit. Good Lord. I didn't feel like I just watched one of the greatest pay-per-views in AEW history. I did.
Word. I definitely did watch one of the greatest pay-per-views in AEW history if I would have just turned it off before this match started. It's easily a top three AEW pay-per-view if I just finished right when this main event started.
Yeah. Because wow.
It's just the wrong placement for the match. It's the wrong match to do. It's the wrong finish, which makes multiple people look bad. Like, no one came out of this looking good. No one came out of this looking good.
Yeah.
Except maybe Swerve. Swerve was trying to save it at the end, for getting a pop at the end. That's it.
Moxley looks like he's worthless, by the way. He can't beat anybody. He was able to beat everybody a couple months ago. Can't beat anybody now. Chris is an idiot. What the fuck? He was a genius. Now he's a fucking dope. Wheeler, now you've blown that Wheeler Willy Wonky thing on this one. Why? I don't know. And apparently Jay White, another one of the smart characters, is a fucking idiot. What the fuck just happened? Good Lord. Oh, there's always Darby.
This was the worst. This was the worst possible outcome. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of I'm trying to think of what was as bad as this. We got the barbed wire exploding, whatever the fuck. I'm trying to think of another one.
That's 1 and 2, and it's at the same show. Revolution, which is by no argument, I think Revolution overall in AEW's history has the best quality of pay-per-view. Because I think last year's is one of the best AEW pay-per-views of all time. 2023 with MJF and Bryan and the Hangman Moxley Texas Death Match and the Elite versus House of Black. That's a great pay-per-view. 2022 with Punk and MJF's dog collar matchup. Kingston and Jericho, and arguably Jericho's one of his best matches of his AEW career. That had Hangman and Adam Cole on that one as well. Like, yeah, like you've had multiple great Revolution shows, and then you've had 2 that have 2 of the worst endings to an AEW pay-per-view of all time.
Yeah, it's definitely 1 and 2. What about other shows, non-AEW? Seth and the Fiend would be
yes, but like that show is not even that good, but it is a bad ending. That show's not that good though. So I don't remember. Okay, Solo interfering in the Roman Cody WrestleMania 39 night 2. That's a very good show that has a flat ending to it.
Yeah, it's a flat ending. That's a good match though.
Yeah, it's a great match. It's arguably if it has the finish of 40, that's the better matchup.
Okay, I know. I agree with that. Yeah, this was heinous. Cena being the next is definitely a one.
Yes. And that was a 1-match show, and that was the only good match on the show.
Triple H and Orton. This is kind of giving me vibes. I was like,
Roman and Taker. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Because that WrestleMania, I remember it most for the Hardys return and the great AJ and Shane matchup. But yeah, it has that. It has the bug match with Bray and Ray and Randy on it as well. So yeah, I don't know if WWE has as great of a show that has this flat of an ending. I don't even think WWE's ever had that in 60, 70 years of existence. I don't know if they ever had a great show that had this type of flat finish.
I would agree. Piper and Hogan? Oh, not the Starrcade one. Fuck.
Yeah, I remember Halloween Havoc. because Halloween Havoc is probably the best example to this, because Halloween Havoc 1997 is awesome. It has Ray and Eddie Guerrero in the greatest WCW match of all time, in my opinion. You got Macho Man and DDP ending their rivalry. You have another, I think there's another like good matchup with like Dean Malenko on it as well. And then there's Hogan and Piper in a fucking slog cage match. And then Macho botches the finish.
The cage. Okay, yeah, I remember that match. Yeah, I remember that match. Good Lord. Yeah. And you know, as a kid, I couldn't even like get excited about it because Hogan and Piper mean nothing to me. I'm 10 years old. It's just two old guys as far as I'm concerned. Well, why not what they did at WrestleMania, whatever the fuck that was. That's good. Yeah, this is heinous. It is a shame because quite a few people fucking crushed it on the show.
Some people had the best matches of their career on this show, and then these two guys had arguably.
That's what hurts. Some of these people are never going to reach these heights ever again. This was their night, and they killed it, and nobody's going to remember.
Yeah, because a lot of people, it's how you leave them. It's not what happens. Anything else. It's how you leave them.
Wow, that's wild. I can't believe this.
It is. Can't believe it either. But here we are. Here we are.
Oh,
we've made it to the end of this pay-per-view. What Joel says, if Mox versus Cope didn't main event, the online discourse wouldn't be this bad. Absolutely not. Yeah. If it ends with Toni and Mariah, you'll forget about this match.
Yeah, it just happened. It was bad, but we move on.
I literally said to somebody was trying to say, oh, Swerve coming out warranted it being the main event. I was like, no, it didn't. I was like, you could do it in the semi-main event. I was like, you could do that in the semi-main event and then close with Toni and Mariah.
You could not.
And then they meet.
What the fuck?
Immediately, this crowd is just going to be like, "Oh man, that was so much better than Mox and Cope." Yeah, that's the right way to close things out.
There's nothing I even dislike about it. Well, I don't say dislike. There's nothing I would complain about the show about. Even some matches that aren't great. So what? They're 8 minutes and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. But this, goddamn. I love that. I love you guys trying to fit in this Swerve thing. How about just not do it? Who cares? The only reason you do it is because you want people to go home happy. If you end with Mariah and Toni, we're all happy. What do you mean? There's no reason to even do the Swerve thing.
Can't believe he did that. Like, I've never been that pissed off. I literally put out the tweet. I was like, I don't think I could forgive Tony Khan for this one. Like, I've forgiven Tony Khan for a lot. I don't think I can forgive him for this one. He had a near perfect pay-per-view, and he just fucking said, you know what? I'm not gonna listen to anybody. Cope and Mox is the main event.
What the fuck?
Fuck me? Fuck me. That's how I took it. That's how I took it. I was like, fuck me? Oh, okay. Shit. All right, guys, we got a couple of super chat donations before we round things off here. We got Dion Jenkins. Thank you so much for the love and support. You guys have been awesome today. We appreciate y'all so much.
You prick.
Dion says, what are you guys' least favorite spot / trope in wrestling? Mine is the spring up at the 9 count and make it back into the ring at the last second.
You know that's mine. Y'all gonna play about this shit all the time. The Derby spot, we'll call it. Good fucking Lord, they run that spot all the fucking time. And it never happens otherwise. Give me at least a couple count-outs to pretend like the spot's gonna work. Jesus.
Least favorite trope spot that they do a lot. That one is it can get grating, especially if you do it too many times. I'm trying to think of a good one. Mine is definitely. I just remembered one of the things that I've had a previous rant about this year. Kicks too much ass DQ finish. I hate that shit so much. I still cannot get over that they had a near 5-star angle with Jacob Fatu, but the finish is he kicked Braun Strowman's ass too much and the referee got in the way. That shit pisses me off. That trope.
What are we doing here? I thought
just
that was
call
the
the finish. That's my least favorite. trope. But Chuck Berry says, Unks says
United Negro
that,
College Fund.
Oh, United Negro College Fund says that a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Well, so is time in this match was a waste of mine. That might be one of my favorite super chats. That might be one of my favorite super chats.
Thank you. Fuck you. Bye. Absolutely.
All right. Well, final call for super chat donation. Thank you so much, guys. You guys have absolutely killed it today. This is one of our most super chats that we've gotten in a while as well. So we appreciate all the support. But also in the chat, let us know your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, whether you gave the show a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show? For me and Jimmy, for AEW Revolution 2025 in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from both of us. Jimmy, out of 10, what did you give the show?
That stinker, if that stinker was match 4, we'd be having a different conversation. But that stinker was the main event. So I'm going to go with 8.5. 8. I'm sorry. I got to go with an 8. A couple of fantastic matches. Another few really, really, really good matches. One stinker. Well, 2 stinkers, including the main event. Some all-time shit there. Yeah, I just can't. Sorry. 8.
I never thought I would say like I saw an all-timer woman's like feud ender, an all-time cage match, a fantastic Kenny Omega and Takeshita match, a fantastic Ricochet and Swerve match, a great opener with MJF and Hangman Adam Page. Yet I was like battling between 8 and 9 the entire way, so I just split the difference, 8.5. 8.5. Just the main event alone stops it from at least tying the best rating that I've given for a pay-per-view this year, which was last week with Elimination Chamber, which I gave a 9 out of 10. So the main event alone drops it.
That's an interesting philosophical question. A good show with a fantastic finish, or a fantastic show with a dog shit finish.
It's like even in the score. Like I might go back in retrospect, give Elimination Chamber an 8.5 because I feel like it's the same. Like you said, it's a very good show with a fantastic finish. This is a fantastic show with a dog shit finish. It's like balancing the scale. It's like putting marbles in a scale, and it's like, very close. So, yeah. Thank you guys for listening to my rant earlier. That felt like a lot off my chest. We do have a super chat donation here from Alexander Fitzgerald. Thank you so much, Alexander, for the support.
Let's fucking go.
He says, why did they make Jay White look so silly out there? Laughing emoji. He said he would have a Cope's back, hits Cope by accident, then leaves like, oops, oh shit.
He's just like, I did that. Time to go.
I gotta go fight Yuta. Sorry.
If we've got to save Jay White. Nothing else from this can be saved. You got to save Jay White. He did it on purpose. That's the reason. He did it on purpose.
Yeah. Jay White is stuck in another awful AEW world title feud. How did you do this? How did you do this, Tony? How did you book him into 2 of the worst AEW world title feuds ever? One involving devils and one involving deaf riders. Or tone deaf riders. That's at this point is tone deaf riders.
Yeah, what the fuck?
MVP for this show, Jimmy.
MVP, I am going to go with Takeshita. Some of those punches he was throwing with Omega, the ducking and the dodging and then the chair spot, he was fucking splendid. Takeshita.
I got a co-MVPs. I'm going to go with Ospreay, Kenny, and Takeshita. 3 of the best wrestlers in the world delivered great match of the year candidates on this show. LVP for the show, it's obviously Tony Khan.
Agreed.
And then match of the night, I got to give it to Timeless Tony Storm and Mariah May.
Okay. Thought you were talking about how they delivered match of the year candidates. They didn't deliver the match of the fucking night. I was fucking Mariah May and Tony Storm. Goddamn beautiful. Keep up the good work. Well, Tony, keep up the good work. Mariah May, you're going to fade into non-existence. Your vagina.
Hey, so. Tony did say it. She's going to fade into obscurity. Set your fate. But yes, that brings us to a close for our AEW Revolution 2025 review. This was probably one of my favorite reviews that I've done because I went through a couple of different emotions recapping last night's show. Jimmy, thank you so much for joining me today. I always appreciate doing these reviews with you. And of course, we'll be back on Thursday to review AEW Dynamite. But until then, let everybody know where they can follow you.
On YouTube at Jimmy Macram, on Twitter also at Jimmy Macram. I don't feel like talking about wrestling at the moment, but if I do, that's where I will be doing it at.
Fair enough. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. You can follow me on or you can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat, patreon.com/True Hill Heat. The best place to support us when we are not live here. $3 a month gets you exclusive content, and you get plenty of stuff over there as well as hitting the join button and becoming a member of the channel, because we always have some exclusive content and some live streams for you over there, including we do some AE Ramble Q&A on occasion. So we'll see if we hit our super chat goal on Thursday, if we could set up another Q&A with you guys, because we had so much fun on the first one. Thank you so much to everyone who showed their support with a super chat donation, who are part of the conversation in the live chat. Always appreciate all of you. But me and Jimmy will be back with you next Thursday, for this coming Thursday, for AE Ramble. In the meantime, between time, check out AE Ramble 188 from last Thursday. Pray for her as we work down the go home show ahead of Revolution. But for Jimmy, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our AEW Revolution 2025 review. We are signing off until next time.